All right, what's going on, guys? Got something for you guys here this evening. As I told you guys yesterday, I'm going to be back. So here I am. I'm back. And I got this clip I want to share with you guys right now. So let me pull this up. Now, this clip is from Ricardo Ignacio podcast. And the clip says, "I'm not black, I'm mixed." Which what's the problem? Like, what's the problem with that? And what is this dude? Why does he care? The reason why he cares because his audience is black. This is a Mexican guy, and his audience is majority black. And you see here, I guess he has like close to about 6K subscribers. That's on YouTube, but I believe on Instagram he has more. I haven't seen the numbers yet on Instagram. I first heard of this guy from Instagram because he's trying to paint Dominicans in a bad light, phrasing Dominicans as being like racist or anti-black, right? Because his audience is primarily black. His audience is like 95+% black, all black people. You go to all of his videos, all the comment sections, his audience is black. But you're like, this is a Mexican guy. Like, how it like, because there's other Mexican channels that I follow or I watch their videos and stuff, but their audience, their support, it's all Mexicans, which is normal. But something's not normal with this Ignacio guy. How is it that you're a Mexican dude and like your audience is majority black? He's involved in the pandering campaign, the grifting campaign, especially within the TikTok era that we're currently in. As I stated with like one of my community posts or whatever, I think it was a community post, yeah, where it's like if you cater to them and the community, dark skinned community, it's like you can easily grow a following. This guy is a representation of that. You could be a white guy, a Latino guy, a biracial guy, it doesn't matter. If you cape and cater to them, the dark skinned people, their insecurities, they will subscribe to your channels, they will give you likes and all this stuff, right? I don't have it within me to do that. But this guy, this Ricardo Ignacio guy, he does. He's built his whole following based off that. If you go to his comment section, you look at all the comments, it's all dark-skinned black people. Or just black people, whatever, black identified. It's like, how does that make sense? So I'm going to get into this clip. It's from a dude here. He's a subscriber, supporter, and shout out to him, El Blaxican guy. The guy you see on the screen, he basically supports me on all my platforms. Shout out to him. But he's jumped on this dude's platform a bunch of times. This Ricardo Ignacio guy, right? And this Ricardo Ignacio guy, I guess he's trying to make some kind of clickbaity or whatever content off this guy. But we're gonna watch the whole clip. It's 11 minutes. And I already watched several minutes of this. It's like everything this guy says is accurate. His stance, his position. So you're gonna hear my commentary on this. And but this Ignacio guy is like, you know, you got a black audience, bro, and you're a Mexican dude. See, the thing is, the beautiful thing with a guy like me is I'm a mulatto man. And you know who my audience is? They're the mulattoes. The mulattoes support me. I'm a mulatto man with a mulatto audience. I am very proud to publicly say this. I'm not caping for blacks. I'm not caping for whites. I'm not on the right wing grift like Sage Steele, the Hodge twins, and the rest of these grifters. I'm not caping for the Latinos, for the Asians, for the Arabs. This is the mulatto media. I have a mulatto channel, and my core supporters are mulatto. I'm very fucking proud to publicly announce that. So we're not the same already. This Ricardo guy, Ignacio guy, and me, we're not the same. Okay, the people who show up in my chat, in my comment section, who post comments, who support, who email me, message me, these are my people. Okay, let me get into this right now. He labeled it, I'm not black, I'm mixed. Yeah, he's a mixed guy. Phenotypically, you look at him, he doesn't look like a dark skinned Bantu. Even the hair texture, even on his beard. You look at his beard here. He's got a scruffy beard. The texture, he's not woolly. He's not a Bantu. It's very obvious. I don't know why this Ignacio guy is tripping, trying to make content. It's not going to go the way you think, homie. Because the mulatto spaces and in general the multiracial, whether they're Blaxican or Blasian, etc., these people, their consciousness is growing. These spaces are going to grow. Right? Let's play this clip. Check this out.
Black people are not your people.
I'm not helping them. There's no incentive to help them. Well, why would any mixed race man go over there when you see that the black man won't do anything for his own people? Hell, well, I don't even find it insulting. There's a video right now of all these an African American and I think it was 2 African Americans and an African. They're up here talking about how they can use mixed people because we have proximity to whiteness and have us fund and fund them and do basically their grunt work. They can use us. But the hilarious thing is, I didn't get that. I didn't get offended by that. I was like, wait a minute. When does this involve you doing something? Because your great plan falls apart when people stop working.
You said,
yeah, excellent point. He's referencing that was brought to my attention from Creole Lady Marmalade. Shout out to her. Creole Lady Marmalade, a very beautiful, exquisite Creole lady. She posted a clip. She made a video about these like a couple FBA pro-wax and some Pan-African guy where they were plotting and scheming publicly. They're very public now, these Afrocentrics, where they were talking about, let's use these mulattoes, let's pretend, let's trick them and let them think that we're a part of their team, and that let's make them think, identify with us and use them to get closer to white people. They're very public with it now. So that's what he's referencing, the gentleman here. And this, of course, this Latino guy's oblivious, of course, because he's, trying to make a buck off these blacks and, make your little pennies, homie. I mean, most of the smart Latinos, they're trying to get their money, their paper from Anglos. But this dude is kind of hustling backwards, trying to get his money from Bantus. Okay, you're going to be doing this for years, bro. But the thing is like what the El Blaxican guy is saying is he's referencing the video that I saw, that I shared on my other channel, my history channel, where they're very bold and public with it now. And he mentioned as well, it's like, well, what's the benefit? What's the benefit? Like, I'm not going to help them out. What's the benefit? What do you get from it? And he references a man. As a mixed man, we can say just broadly, generally now, if you're Blasian, Blaxican, etc., you're mulatto, what benefit do you have to identify with people who are against you? All this light skin shit, these dumb savages are talking about, they're throwing Steph Curry under the bus. I am so surprised, and I'm actually entertained when I see these pussy ass fucking mulattoes who run up in here and defend dark skinned Bantus who are against them. All this stuff they talk about Steph Curry, all the stuff they talk about Drake, and you still think they are your people? It's hilarious to me. I hop up on here and talk shit. It's hilarious. They are publicly telling you they're against you. They're not your people. But you still got these pussy ass mulatto boys who identify with the Bantu who's against them. It's hilarious. And this gentleman's jumping up here talking to this Mexican dude, telling him like, what the hell's the benefit for me? Yeah, I'm not one of them. Well, what's the benefit? I don't get nothing out of it. No, they're trying to position themselves to get everybody else to do the dirty work for them. They want the mulattoes to do dirty work for them. But when it's time for them to do something, there's no results. They don't do nothing. Right? Hilarious.
you used to be pro-black. It seems now that you are literally the quite opposite of that. What changed?
Oh, I saw that.
He's asking him, you used to be pro-black. A lot of mulattoes used to be pro-black. We tried to identify with them because we thought that was kind of like a legitimate pathway of acceptance into blackness per se. But I would not say that this man is the opposite now. I would not say that El Blaxican guy He's the opposite of pro-blackness, which if you say, yeah, pro-blackness, opposite would be pro-whiteness. I would not say he's the opposite, that he's pro-white. I would say that he's come to the conclusion that he's wasted his time. And in one of his videos, I think in this video as well, I'm going to reference it as well. He said the biggest fuck up he had in his life was defending these savages. And I'm with him 100% with that. The biggest waste of time I've ever done in my 20s was being sympathetic towards them. Being sympathetic towards them and their plight. That was the biggest waste of time, I can ever admit. And my whole goal here is for these younger folks, don't feel sorry for them. Don't feel pity for them. Don't waste your time. They want to use you. They're going to use that sympathy you have, that kind of guilt or whatever you have. You got a white parent. You're proud of your heritage. You were raised around white people. You consider yourself privileged, whatever, you're mulatto in a suburb. Like these people, the Afrocentrics, they're going to use that against you. And they're going to fake it and try to give you some fake membership access. And I believe this man, he came to the conclusion that you're going to waste your time doing that. So, to counteract what Ignacio is saying, it's not the complete opposite. He didn't do a whole 180 flip. He basically realized he just wasted his time. Like he learned his lesson. He was pro-whack, like a lot of us were. We had our pro-black phase. Complete waste of time. I'm one man as well, publicly telling you as a testament, it was a waste of time. I learned a lot. I met some good people that I still will respect. And if they have businesses, I'll still support their businesses, etc. But as far as the kind of the mission, goal, the collective and all this, no, I'm not going to be spending all that money and all that support. No. I already see it for what it is. They want to use mulattoes and we're done with the usury. So I don't see it as he completely flipped to the opposite. He just basically is relieving himself of this guilt and responsibility. He doesn't owe Blackistan a damn thing. They were lucky to have him around. They're lucky to have a Blaxican or a Blasian or a mulatto to support their ungrateful ass. They have ruined their welcome. This is what you're witnessing. They have tried to use these mixed race men to support their ungrateful asses. They have basically ruined their welcoming. That's it.
They're not going to do anything, and it looks ridiculous when somebody from not their community and does not look like the unambiguous black man trying to fix a community I never destroyed. Their community, that's their community. Their majority of their own population. It looks completely insane that people who never grew up in their community is trying to fix it, especially that.
He's saying someone who's never grew up in their community is trying to fix it. Like that's be a guy like me. I didn't grow up around them. They're not my people. They're not my dark-skinned brothers and sisters. I laugh at that because you got some of these light-skinned saviors who run up in the mulatto space trying to bring us back in to serve the Bantu. And then they claim like they're their brothers and sisters. And I'm like, bro, like they were lucky to have me around. When I was caping for them in the pro-black shit, they were lucky to have me around. And they ruined their welcome. That's good. I'm out of there. I saw the usury for what it is. I'm done. Okay, the cape has been burned and destroyed. It's been done. So, and that's what this guy's saying here. He's expressing that where it's like, look, like it's not normal for someone who doesn't look like them, who's not a part of their community, to jump in there to help them out. But they're always begging for that. Like they got a guy like Dr. Claude Anderson. You see, you know what he looks like. Dr. Claude Anderson doesn't look nothing like these black Bantus. But they adhere to him. They uplift him as if he's like a leader and like a top dog and shit. And he doesn't look nothing like you Bantus. And that they're trying to continue that process. They want a Barack Obama, Thurgood Marshall. They want to uphold these mulattoes to like represent them. Colin Kaepernick. Why can't you Bantus support your own people? Why is it that they always want to look for this mulatto to help them out, to support them? So it's not normal. It doesn't look normal for a guy who doesn't look like them, who wasn't raised around them, to support their group. But that's the default setting they always resort to. They want an outsider to help them out. Like that's what it is. To me, I'm an outsider. I'm not a part of your people, not a part of your group. unapologetically. I don't care. I'm not a part of you people. And this gentleman, he's saying the same thing. He doesn't identify with you. And they're going to try to shame him. Like, if when I finish the clip, if I can get to the comments, you see these Bantus and confused slaves talking about he's delusional or he's, identity crisis, all that stuff. He doesn't look like you people. Clearly looking at his hair texture, his mustache and beard, the scruffy hair he has on his face. He doesn't have the same texture and phenotype as the dark-skinned Bantu. But they'll try to play games and semantics and be like, oh, well, he looks like a black. He looks like a black. Right? Why do these people always cry about colorism? They always cry about colorism and light skin privilege and Eurocentric standard of beauty, but then they turn around and try to claim you as one of them. Okay, and when you claim you're one of them, then they cry colorism. My whole thing is, why do you mulattoes, mixed race, or Blasian, Blaxican, why do you play games with them? You play games with them. My whole thing is, don't come over here and don't challenge me. If you're a mixed person and you identify with the community, please don't challenge me, because I will fucking crush you. I promise you that. Let's continue on.
A biracial mulatto man running up and down trying to clean up that shithole that he fucking destroyed. That black, white Anglo, he's the only one trying to clean up that shithole. He's up here trying to identify as black, do everything known to man.
He's saying that black, white Anglo's trying to clean up that shithole. Yeah, he's right. Yeah, you see it all over the place. They feel sorry for them. They feel pity. That's the realization that I'm at currently right now. The black, white Anglo, he's talking about the mulatto. Okay, the Afro-Germanic mulatto, and they identify with the Bantu, and they're trying to clean up the shithole. Dr. Claude Anderson and Frederick Douglass, Thurgood Marshall, Barack Obama, all of these people, they're trying to clean up the shithole that they have created. And it's not our responsibility. I'm not getting paid for it. Why the hell do I care? You're not giving me nothing. So, but they want free labor from you. They want you to do everything for them, give them access and clean it up, and they don't give you nothing. And that's what this guy's stating right here.
Man, to clean up that fucking community. No other mixed race person is trying to do that. No mixed race
person is trying to do that. Yeah, I don't really see Blasians trying to clean up the community. They're doing their own thing. Even Afro-Latinos, if they're Dominican or whatever, this gentleman here, would fall in line with Afro-Latino, Blaxican. They're not trying to do that. I think that's why he's very vocal, public and vocal about it. I'm vocal about it as well. I'm mulatto, Germanic, Afro-Germanic. It's I'm very vocal as well. It's I'm not trying to clean up. These savages have completely fucked up. And I've been watching them and studying these animals for the past 10 years. I was very quiet watching them on social media. All the conspiracies they've been pushing about mulattoes, I was very quiet, taking notes, taking names, studying. It's oh, this is how you feel. See, they're very comfortable throwing mulatto men under the bus. They were very comfortable. I was okay, we'll see about that. We'll see about that. Yeah. Yeah, we're studying you savages.
Woman's trying to do it. She's just trying to be worshipped all day. She ain't doing shit.
So
now that right there, he kind of caught some flack for that. Let me rewind a bit because I kind of ranted a minute, and I want to cover that right there.
Up here trying to identify as black, do everything known to man to clean up that fucking community. No other mixed race person is trying to do that. No mixed race woman's trying to do it. She's just trying to be worshipped all day.
He said nobody's trying to do that. No one's trying to clean up that community. No mixed race woman is trying to do that, clean up that community. And he said they're just trying to be worshipped all day. Some mixed race women. Let's be clear. We got to be specific because we can catch some strays and catch some hell if we overgeneralize. That's why I'm here to provide some clarity. So he said, yes, some of them, they're just trying to be worshipped all day. There's a large percentage of them that are. There's no doubt about that. But there's a large percentage that's not. That's the thing. My core supporters, even those who are pro-mulatto advocates, they're not. They're trying to do their own thing. They're embracing this mulatto identity full force. And I see these pages all over social media TikTok, on Facebook, on X, and right here on YouTube. There, like, since I've started this, my whole, social media branding and all this stuff, like, there's so many mulatto women who are creating their own pages, their own networks, and they're not trying to be worshipped by black men. They're not caping for them like that. That's why we have to be careful. We have to be specific, and we cannot overgeneralize because you're going to alienate allies. That's the thing. You're going to alienate allies. There's women who, most of my core supporters are mulatto women. How is that? Like, I started this endeavor because I wanted to give men a voice because already saw all the platforms, it's majority female with the whole mixed race conversation, biracial, multiracial, blah, 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 blah. None of it was mulatto. Okay, when you attach the mulatto to it, then you get some fucking balls to it. Then you have a masculine posturing position. Yeah, then you have the man that's speaking mulatto, ultra specific, no fuckery, no tomfoolery, right? And that's why they're like, mulatto's a bad word, right? They want you to be all inclusive. They want you to use biracial, use mixed race, and we're all gay and feminist and all this weird shit, right? That's why they don't want the specificity of mulatto. When you have a masculine tone and posturing, ultra exclusive, ultra specific mulatto, then yeah, they kind of get a little fearful, right? So let me continue on with this because the thing is that the whole point is do not alienate your allies. That's the whole point. Like, with me, like, I'm very bold and blunt. You can hear my voice, my tone and stuff. But yet most of my supporters are mulatto women. Why is that? And I started this out and I wanted mulatto men to start doing some shit. Connect with, some fellowship, some fraternity, some brotherhood. Because the women have already collaborated, have their own spaces. When I first heard about this mixed shit, it was because of women on Instagram. They've already had their shit popping. And I see some of these dudes talking about most of these mixed spaces are women, okay, yeah, because they're organized, because they're communal, they organize. Okay, well, why, instead of crying about it, why don't you coordinate and organize? Well, what's up with you guys? We have so many fucking simp enforcers who just adhere to the matriarchy. They don't want to do their own shit. And I don't get it. Like, and for a guy like me, I'm very bold and vocal, and they can paint me however they want. It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, people still like what I have to say. They still support me, and they hate that about me. They hate that the fact that they can paint me as this bad guy. Don't listen to him. He's negative, blah blah blah. But people still find me. They hear my voice, and they like me. Like, the message, they resonates with them. They're like, I like this guy. I like his energy. He's unapologetic. And they support me. And it's mostly women, mostly female. And they can't dissuade them. There's always going to be a new lady who tunes in, who hears me, who's like, oh shit, I identify with him. So they can't control everybody. They can't control the whole audience. They can trick some of these cats, some of these people, like the future is golden, can trick some of these lesbians and feminists and shit, but they can't trick everybody. That's the key thing. So most of my supporters have always been these mulatto females. And what I'm telling this guy here, the gentleman here, is we have to be careful to not alienate allies. That's it, to not overgeneralize, because there's no need to do that. We have to be ultra specific.
She's just trying to be worshipped all day.
Yeah, she's just trying to be worshipped all day. Yeah, there's a lot of, and I think everybody would kind of want to be worshipped, right? And it's a lot of the mulatto women, they're in a lucky position if they want to be worshipped by black. But it's funny because I've been making content for like a few years, almost 3 years now, and there's mulatto women who posted comments in my videos that were like, oh great, I'm pedestalized by the lowest ranking men out there, and they laugh, they clown these dudes. Like, they're not all trying to be worshipped, right? By Bantus. They're not all trying to be that. So we have to be specific. But if they're a biracial baby mama, it's like, okay, yeah, we get it. Right. And then, because I talk shit about them and they try to act like they represent the collective, and they don't. They represent the ghetto, fucking ran through ratchet, you know. They don't represent the elegant, sophisticated women who deserve and who demand respect. They don't represent them. Not the baby mama types who are Pookie's leftovers. We're not talking about them. So the specificity in this position is very important as well. We cannot alienate allies. We've got to be careful about that.
She ain't doing shit.
So you don't. So
Person's trying to do that. No mixed race woman's trying to do it. She's just trying to be worshipped all day. She ain't doing shit.
Okay, and the thing is, he said that she's just trying to be worshipped all day. She ain't doing shit. He kind of caught some flack for that, for those comments. So I'm here to provide some clarity for that. As I said, it's important for us to not overgeneralize mixed women. It's critically important. It's a very sensitive topic because there's a lot of people who are going to be foaming at the mouth to turn on your ass. And trust me, they do it with a guy like me, but it's kind of futile because even if I have a couple detractors who they liked me, they don't like me anymore. You just push them to the fucking side. New people will come in. They'll support me. You build a whole network. I've been doing this for almost 3 fucking years. I've already seen how this process works. And so, but it's very imperative and important for us that we cannot overgeneralize people because we're alienating allies. So it's to be specific. Like for me, I'm the specificity. I say the biracial baby mama. She's black identified. She's got kids by a black dude. She just wants a seat at the table to be black. Like the ghetto grandma, multifacial hood rat, that whole clique. There's a couple of them. Yeah, they're not a part of our spaces. They're not mulatto identified. They want to grift off mulattoes, right? To make their little drama content to keep the gender war going on. But they're not really core. They're not about the core identity, solidarity. They're not a part of our group. They're just an outlier trying to grift and make content to kind of use us. But yeah, it's important that we be specific. It really is. And I wanted to add that emphasis there moving forward because I noticed that there's some people who didn't like the fact that the gentleman here mentioned that, oh, well, they just want to be worshipped. You know, they're not about shit. No, the mulatto women are about something. Like my core supporters, Renata Mulata, Flowers, Telling Stewart. You have Abby NYC. You have all these mulatto women who are active, who are supporters, who are uncovering the history, creating petitions. You have the Mixed Lens who created a petition to reinstate mulatto. All these women are so important. Like we have to be careful. We cannot overgeneralize what these women are doing. We have to be specific. It's very important. I'm telling you this. I'm going to emphasize this because you're going to alienate allies. Like my core supporters, the women who navigate towards my space, my channel, my social media, they have pride in themselves. They like being mulatto, and there's action in what they're doing. And so I have to stress that because we cannot overgeneralize that there's these great mulattoes. They're making the men like basically it's a kind of a good thing because they're forcing the men to be better. Like even for me, like I say, like a lady like Emily. I look at a lady like Emily, like this mulatto, proud mulatto woman. Like I look at her like she encourages me to be better. Like, man, I got to get in better shape. I got to make more money. I got to be a better man. I see a mulatto like her. I got to be better. Even when I was in Brazil with Beatrice, in my whole experience with her, spending time with her, like, and I told her that as well. I was like, man, you motivate me. I got to be a better man. When I'm around these mulattoes who are on their shit, like it motivates the men to be better. I'm just a living example of that. Nah, so the women, like they inspire us as men to be better men. So what I'm saying here, we have to be specific. We cannot overgeneralize people and alienate allies because we have a lot of allies who are helping us. This whole operation is possible because of them. If it's not for the women, the mulatto women who are dedicated, who are proud mulattoes, we're nothing. They are a part of this. We're nothing without them. So I have to stress that. Let me continue on.
So you don't identify as black, but you are pro-black. Explain.
I got caught up in saying reading all the horrible shit that happened to them, and then you see like, wait a minute, they ain't doing shit. Oh wait, they ain't trying to clean up the community. That's where most mixed people get caught up in it. Oh, they read a book, read about slavery, they see the Mile for 21s, all those movies, and then you feel bad for them. Then when you look at it, wait a minute, they're not doing shit. They're just trying to sleep with mixed women, and ain't fucking trying to do. They're trying to kiss ass to Anglos, the same white.
That's why, so he's been listening to me, of course. He's listening, tuning in right now. He's just not commenting. Shout out to you. Like I said, there's no hate to you. What I'm saying is like, we have to be careful about overgeneralizing mixed women because it can create unnecessary rift between the men and the women. Our goal here is to create harmony and to move forward with our agenda. But I agree with what the man's saying, because that's what I've been saying. Like, basically, like, a lot of us, we feel sorry for them. Let's be real. We feel sorry for Bantus. We try to help them out, and they're not trying to do shit. They can't even clean up their own shithole community. They just want to sleep with mixed women and non-black women. That's it. And I pointed this out even yesterday, where I was talking about, like, you got Professor Grift, you got Dr. Umar Johnson, Tariq Nasheed, his wife is Mulatto, Kendrick Lamar, who's a pro-whack, but his baby mama's Mulatto. You got the what's his name, Phil Advice Show, a big, pro-black network, Africa Dysphoria, whatever. He's married to a Mexican. His wife is Mexican. So we're sitting there like, well, wait a second. You guys are so pro-black, the biggest names in the pro-black conscious movement, but you're not even dedicated to black women. Like, how is that? Like, and you got mixed guys who are calling this shit out. Like, doesn't make sense. These are a bunch of grifters, and they want us to identify with them to do their dirty work while they sit on their black ass kissing white butt. And even he mentioned it right here, kissing Anglo butt. That's what they're all doing. They're all kissing Anglo butt, Tariq Rashid, the Black Authority, the rest of the pro-wax, working for white people, kissing their butt, and then they want to throw mulatto men under the bus. But they love mulatto women. And we're sitting here like, how did this shit happen? Well, we're here now. We got to challenge it, question it, and of course, come with some solutions and move forward, right?
Man, that they bitch about every fucking day.
Okay, sure, but the fact that you
and you got this Mexican dude who's like not even mulatto. He's like an outsider sitting here, like as a moderator, but his whole audience is black. And that's a tragedy with this Mexican dude. How did that happen? You're Mexican, bro. Like, your whole audience should be primarily Mexican, right? Like, for me, I'm a mulatto guy. My audience mulatto. My language, my tone, my delivery, I specifically every day, every time I'm up here, I shout into the microphone and I'm signaling to people, this is a mulatto safe space. This is our space. We don't cater to Bantus and Anglos or Chicanos and Asians. This is a mulatto space. This is a mulatto think tank. And I'm letting them know this is our spot. And I'm unapologetically and proud about that we have our own networks. So, but I'm looking at this Ricardo Ignacio guy, like, bro, you're a Mexican dude, but your audience is all black. Like, and you think you're going to shit on mixed people to appease these blacks or talk shit about Dominicans to appease these blacks. Like, how long are you going to run this grift, bro, before it dries up? Like, people already see the BS for what it is. Because I first heard about this cat because Dominicans were putting him on blast. Because he's talking crap about Dominicans, talking about their colorists and their racists and all this other crap to appease his black audience. That's not sustainable. These type of TikTok social media grifters, it's not sustainable. I don't believe so. Eventually, it's going to come crashing down. The grift is going to end. The audience is going to move somewhere else.
You used to be pro-black is very telling that you, at least at one point, identified as black.
I know, that's my greatest fuck up in life. There's no greater fuck up than that. Wasting my time.
And that's kind of one of the things that I agree with him. I think it was in Discord or somewhere where I saw this video clip shared and I basically acknowledged and replied, like, those are true, profound words. Even for me, myself, I identify with what he's saying because my greatest fuck up in life was identifying as black. being pro-black, feeling sorry for them. The biggest fuck up in my life, I can say, the biggest waste of time was none of my investments investing in cryptocurrency or, past girlfriends or women that I committed to. That those weren't the greatest fuck ups. The greatest fuck ups in my life in my 20s, so it's not that distant, not that long ago. I'm in my mid 30s. So my biggest fuck up was identifying as black, feeling sorry for them, sympathizing, and like the pro-black shit. That was the biggest waste of time. That's why I'm passionate about what I'm doing now, because I want the younger people who are a little bit younger than me, do not waste your time. Do not feel sorry for them. They're going to use that against you, manipulate your emotion, manipulate your good deeds, your heart, your compassion, sympathy. They're going to manipulate that in your membership access, your wanting to be a part of something, wanting to be a part of a community. They're going to use that against you and get you to do labor for them, unpaid labor to support them. And then once they're done with you, they're going to throw you away and spit you out. And you're going to feel very dumb, very stupid. So yeah, I agree with him what he's saying. Like, that's the biggest fuck up, the biggest waste of time. It's not chicks you mess with, not investments that went bad or went sour. It was the fact that you sympathize with these people who are not your people, who are jealous of mixed race men, lighter skinned men, who are anti-mulatto man. The biggest fuck up you can do is identifying with them. Straight up. I mean, this is profound words he's saying, and I agree. It's the biggest mistake in my life right now. In my 30 plus years, I can publicly tell you the biggest mistake, just like what this man is telling you, is identifying with blacks, helping them out, sympathizing with them. Black Americans, let me be specific. The biggest mistake I've ever made in my life is with the pro-whack shit, sympathizing with them. Biggest mistake, biggest pitfall, waste of fucking time. My goal is for these younger mulattoes, do not waste your time. You don't know them. Don't feel sorry for them. Don't pity them. They need to give you something if you're going to deal with them. There needs to be reciprocity there, because they want to try to trick you and think that you got to give them free labor and give them support for this fake acceptance. They're going to try to trick you for membership access, for tribal access, for fake acceptance. They want you to prove your blackness to them. And they're publicly talking about this, these Afrocentric pro-whacks. That's what this guy mentioned. There was a video that came out, Creole Lady Marmalade shared, where these Afrocentrics are saying, we got to trick them and make them think, identify with us. Like, don't. Do not waste your time, please. I'm begging you. That's what my whole position, my platform here. Don't waste your time. Make sure they pay you and give you money.
Time feeling bad for these people.
Hold on. I get your frustration.
No, it really is. That's really a fuck up. That's like the biggest fuck up. There's no greater fuck up than wasting your time trying to help these people when they won't do shit for themselves.
Exactly. He's 100% right. Like, and this guy, Ignacio, can't say shit. He's looking dumb. He's looking in the side, not even looking in the camera. Ricardo Ignacio, he's full of crap, right? He's grifting off these low insecure blacks. Like, there's no greater fuck up. You're trying to help people who don't even want to help themselves. They hate themselves. They're skin bleaching. They're trying to pretend to be mixed. You got these blacks who subscribe to my channel, follow me on social media. They're pretending to be mixed and shit. And it's disgraceful. Like, there's no other fuck up than helping them. And they don't even help themselves. They hate themselves. They're trying to be you. They're trying to be mixed. And it's like, there's no greater fuck up than helping them out. They owe you. They need to hit your Cash App. They need to hit your PayPal. They owe you money. They owe you. I'm telling the mulatto men, when you deal with them, it's just business, nothing personal. They owe you. They need to start paying you now. Period.
And the majority of their own population. We're not flooding their population. We're not in their communities. Very few of us actually grow up in their community. And the ones that grow up in their community, you think I talk fucked up about them. You haven't heard the crazy shit that the ones that actually grew up, they actually despise these people. They say shit that's fucking worse than any Anglo could ever say about them.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. Like, I didn't grow up in their communities and all that stuff. I'm an outsider observing in their community. But from what I hear, a lot of these people who are mixed or biracial, mulatto, whatever, and they grew up in a black community, like their results are not really good. Like, and then they jump on YouTube, they make content. I'm not going to mention names or anything, but like they're not happy with the results. Like, and what's sad is because some of these guys, like they kind of turn into incels, where it's like they divert their negative hostile position towards the women. They blame the women as if the women are a problem. Some of these guys who are black identified, who are mixed race, and they grew up in a black community, they blame the mixed women. Oh, they don't choose me. I'm gonna prove her wrong by going to the Dominican Republic and getting a mixed woman. Like, you're not proving shit, bro. Like they divert their attention to act like the women are the issue, but they're black identified mixed people who are pulling that shit. Where it's like, they're misplaced anger. That's what it is. The misplaced anger.
because they were tortured by these people.
And that's the Stockholm syndrome. That's why I say, because they were tortured by black people, but they don't have the energy towards the black males. They, whatever reason, they position their negative hostility towards the women, towards the mixed women. Well, these mixed women, they prefer black males. Okay, well, if they have good results, have fun. Some of these women, they end up being gay, or they get white guys or whatever. But what about the women who like mixed guys? What about them? They're out there. They're plentiful. They're all out here. They're all out here. Like, what about them? You're going to throw them under the bus unnecessarily? I'm not saying the gentleman on the screen, L Blackskin guy. I'm talking about other mixed race males that I've seen on YouTube who talk shit about mixed women, where they complain the mixed women just want black males. And I'm like, well, no, you're just not doing your part to be a better man to attract these women. That's it. That's all it is.
They were getting their heads shaved. The men were getting beaten up. A lot of fucked up ass shit in their community. But they're gonna lie and tell you, and they're gonna lie about it, or they're gonna tell these same people, get over it. You're grown now, but you tell them to get over something that they never experienced, like slavery. They won't do that.
Man, that's just straight up bars. So I got a soundbite for that, because he's like, they're telling you, get over it. You got picked on by these blacks. Oh man, you got trauma when you were a kid because they picked on you because you light skin. You need to get over and grow up. But you tell that dark skinned Bantu, you were never even a fucking slave. Your great great granddaddy was a slave. Slavery was 200 plus years ago. Get over it, fucking Bantu. They're not gonna say shit, right? This dude just perma checked them with that shit. Tell them get over slavery, bro. That was a long time ago. But see, they don't want you to express your grievances. This Ricardo guy, Ignacio, is getting fucking cooked. This Ricardo Ignacio, this Mexican dude, look at his facial expression. He's getting fucking cooked. He's got a pure black audience. Those blacks in your comment section, I'm going to tag you in this video, homie. They're not going to help you out, bro. We've been dealing with these people for a very long time. They're not going to help you out, bro. You think you're going to build your little platform off of them? They're not going to help you out, homie. I'm going to be here. We got the Dominicans. They're allies. They're going to support. Yeah, they're not. The Bantus aren't going to help you out, homie. Because it's not normal. It's not normal for a Mexican dude to have an entirely black audience. You're not going to be able to throw white people under the bus, throw mixed race people under the bus, throw Dominicans under the bus, and think everything's all normal. And no. You're not going to be able to hold this up for long, bro. Let's continue on.
And they tell that same shit to Haitians, the ones that they say that Dominicans are racist against. They bully Haitians. They bully all these Africans. And I know my adopted mom did not like Africans. She was always an asshole to one.
Okay, but I guess my question was, the fact that you used to be pro-black is telling the fact that you did at one point identify as black.
No,
So what though, bro? So what? That one, but people mature. There's an evolution in people's maturity. I'm a testament to that. Yeah, you got. There's pictures of me. I have a picture with Dr. Umar. That's no secret. I was going to share that with the public regardless. That's part of my evolution. That I met Dr. Umar. I was at a conference where he spoke. That's part of evolution of us. That's part of our evolution. Yeah, we were thick into pro-black stuff. We identified with black people. We're Afrocentric. Yeah, we tried to help them out. We sympathized with their group. It was a learning lesson for us. And he keeps trying to bring that up. Oh, the fact that you're pro-black and you're not now. So what, bro? I guarantee you this Ricardo Ignacio guy was probably pro-white at one point. But he doesn't want to mention that, does he? Oh, no. He doesn't want to mention the fact that he was probably pro-Mexican at one point. But now he's not. Like, you see, so they try to pin that on you. They're weaponizing that one drop rule on you and trying to say, well, you were pro-black at one point, but now you're not. So fucking what? We all mature and grow up. We go through phases. Even white people go through pro-white phases. And then they get out of that shit. They realize, well, they got to be a better person and commit to a woman, commit to a family, be a good person, commit to the society. Yeah, white people go through pro-white phases. That's normal. Every group does. But this guy's trying to, single out this mixed race man and try to be like, well, you were pro-black at one point. So fucking what? He grew some balls. He realized ungrateful savages do not deserve his support. So fucking what? Deal with it.
To be honest with you, I felt bad for them. I never.
We all feel bad for them. The standard mulatto, that's what it is. This whole idea, we all feel bad for them. You can hear my tone, my delivery. This is what it is. We just pitied them. We felt bad for them. We wanted to support them. We realized it was a thankless job. What's the point? What's the point? Are they going to support you? No, they're going to crack light skin jokes. And you got these pussy ass, light skin, black identified knuckleheads who call them their brothers and sisters and they're talking shit about them for just existing, being light skinned. That could never be me. Shout out to the Al Show. I see the Al Show in the chat. He had a live stream earlier today, and that's the main thing with this whole light skin shit and this biracial and light skin shit. With biracial people, and the gentleman on the screen, he's biracial. He's Blaxican, a Mexican parent and a black parent. And I have a European parent and a black parent. The thing is, it's like, for us, it's very easy. We're biracial. We're like, we're going to get the fuck away from them. There's hostility. They position themselves and tell us we're not a part of them. You not like us. We get the fuck away from them. But the difference is with like a quote unquote light skinned black is they grew up in the black community. That's their people. They're dark skinned brothers and sisters. They grew up with them. That's their group. So they can't just like distance themselves and get away from them. That's the biggest thing. So shout out to the Al Show. I saw his live stream earlier. Older gentleman, but he articulates this stuff in a fashion that I can't. And I appreciate him. That's why he's necessary in the space to provide some clarity, because yeah, that's exactly what it is. Like, that's the main difference, where it's like for guys like us we're biracial, we just get the fuck away from them. Let's go build and do our own shit. Very simple. But for someone who is a light-skinned black, all they've ever known is black people. They're a part of the African American group. So they can't just get away from them. That's who they identify with. That's their people. That's the major difference that people do not want to acknowledge. Okay, let me continue on.
That you did at one point identify as black.
No, to be honest with you, I felt bad for them. I just saw, oh shit, these people are having problems.
And that's a realization that I came to, was that, I just felt bad for them. It's like, there was nothing I could do to help them out. Was it pity? Maybe per se, pity kind of. I just kind of felt bad. I was like, man, the Asians, the Chicanos. I'm from California, Los Angeles area, Orange County specifically. But like, I already know, like the colorism or the dark skin stuff, they do not like Bantus or African Americans. Like, they'll use you, your culture, the Kendrick Lamar, the Kuhnrick, Lemoyce, they'll use you dumbass Bantu little entertainers. But overwhelmingly, they do not like you people. So I felt bad for them. I knew I would be more accepted by the Chicanos, Mexicans. It'd be easy. I just get a Mexican chick, you get a Mexican partner, have a start a family, live happily ever after. Yeah, and it's cool with that because they're some of the hottest chicks. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But like I already knew, like there's a system in place. Like they do not prefer dark skinned Bantus. That's why it's funny. I hear these like some of these light skinned guys who are from the black community, and these like dark skins are trying to gas them up or gas themselves up, trying to talk shit about light skinned people. And I'm sitting there like, bro, in the Hispanic communities, the darker you are, like you're not favored amongst them, amongst the men or the females. I can tell you how much Mexican pussy that I've been in, and the ladies have literally told me they don't want dark skinned guys. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna give you some because you're mixed, you're light skinned, you're not dark skinned. There's so many. I'm from California. Like people act like this is real shit. This is part of their group and their community. Literally, like in the colorism, you call it whatever you want. They're gonna call it colorism, but the dark skinned Bantu, they're gonna turn around and hate on the mulatto man. That's colorism. But they're trying to act like, oh, it's not a big deal. No, fuck out of here. It's the same shit, right? But they're okay with colorism when they can benefit from it. When the light skin or mulatto man can benefit from colorism, they have a problem with it. When the light skinned mulatto female can benefit from colorism, they have a problem with it, right? Just pointing it out.
The white man treats them like shit. And then you see like, oh, wait, they don't do shit.
On our previous video, you stated that Black American men tend to prefer to go for non-Black women. But then in the comment section, a lot of Black people were saying that according to stats, majority of Black men marry Black women. What do you say to that?
Well, they don't. They marry mixed women that identify as Black. And they'll claim those.
Yeah, they'll claim those women as Black, like a Tariq Nasheed, right? Isn't Tariq Nasheed, he claims his baby mama or his wife is his partner as Black. Peanut is what she's called, but she's mixed race, right?
Women as Black women, but they won't claim any African of West Sub-Saharan descent as a part of their group, or that they look like those people. They'll claim all the mixed people, no matter where the hell they're from, that they look like somebody in their community, which makes.
I'm going to drop the link right now. If you guys want to hop up here, I think this is a good time. I got enough of you people up in here right now. So let me drop that link if you guys want to hop up here and give you guys some time. No takers at the moment. That's okay. This is normal. It's expected. Let's continue on.
Makes no sense, because if two different mixed people don't look the same, how is it that your community is flooded with these people, but the other mixed people don't look alike, but you somehow look like those people all at the same time? That doesn't really make sense. But they won't go out their way to claim any African at all, outside of the East Africans and maybe some North Africans.
Correct me if I'm wrong. This is what I understood about what you just said. You said that these black men that claim that majority of black men marry black women, the black women that they claiming to be black are not necessarily black.
Correct.
In a lot of cases, that's correct. He's absolutely correct. Like I just mentioned, like Tariq Nasheed, and there's so many other people like Kobe Bryant married a Mexican lady. Phil Advice married a Mexican lady, and who else is there? Michael Jordan married a Mexican or Argentinian lady. Michael Jordan, right? There's so many examples we can give you guys from athletes, actors, and all this stuff where they're not marrying dark-skinned black females, but they want to continue to play this charade, this game where it's like they're so dedicated to the black community, but they can't commit to a black female. They're being called out for it now. They don't like it, and they got to have this. They got this Mexican guy here to run interference, and it's not working, bro. I already seen what you try to do with the Dominicans, and Dominicans, they got our support. The mulatto Americans, we got Dominicans who are supporters of us over here. And we already seen what you try to do with them. So what, you think it's gonna be different with us over here? We've been watching you, homie. And those North American Bantus are not going to help you out, bro. They're going to support your platform, your program for so long enough, but eventually it's going to fizzle away. It will.
What are they then? Mixed?
Yeah, they're mixed.
In your opinion, based on what you said, why do black people go out of their way to claim either mixed or almost white presenting black people, if you will, as black, but yet maybe like a black African, they won't? Why?
Because they want to be adjacent to whiteness, and they want
to kiss Anglo ass. They want to be adjacent to whiteness. Yeah, this dude is spouting facts. I'm gonna play the rest of it, of course. I'm just want to add my 2 cents into it. Yeah, and he already knows. Like, this guy he's listened to me long enough. He currently already knows what time it is. It is Ignacio guys trying to act stupid. It's like, why do these blacks want to claim these mixed people who got some black in them, but they don't want to claim the Africans? Well, yeah, because they want to be closer to whiteness. They serve Anglos. They kiss the butt and they bend the knee for Anglos. And this is why they want to claim all the mulattoes. They want to use mulattoes as a bridge for them to get closer to whiteness. This is why they're trying so hard to claim Meghan Markle. The reason why they're not claiming Drake is because Drake has dominated the dark-skinned Bantu. And I told you, like, they've already lost sports. The sports world, basketball, they call the National Biracial Association. They lost. Like, the sports world and athletics, it's not a dark-skinned black male endeavor now. It's the mulatto males are the top. The hybrid is the pinnacle of athletic excellence. It's the mulatto, the hybrid, who is the top notch, the top dog in athletics, basketball, football, your quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott, etc., who are dominating the sports world. So the last bastion of hope for the dark-skinned Bantu is hip-hop, then the culture war. That's why they're throwing their hat in the ring. They're supporting this little short, dark-skinned Bantu, Kendrick Lamar, right? Because going against Drake, the biracial man, and they're trying to throw him under the bus, saying that, well, he's got a white mom. He was raised in a white community in Canada, right? They're trying to kind of kick him out of blackness, even though they see video footage of him singing Lauryn Hill and, black music since he was like 9 years old. Where the hell is the footage of Kendrick singing these songs when he was a kid? They don't have it. But Kendrick has the complexion for protection amongst the dark-skinned Bantus. And this is why they're supporting him and trying to throw Drake under the bus.
Want to live vicariously through those same mixed people that they always claim. They don't want to live vicariously through an African because they don't want to look like that at all. That's why they're so invested in making Dominicans, the blatantly mixed ones, and they go up to the women. They never go up to an actual black Dominican and tell them they're...
Yeah, they never go up to the men. They never challenge the men. I pointed it out with Phil Advice show. Like he was trying to challenge this Creole lady who's a woman, challenge this Dominican woman who's a woman, trying to challenge the colored woman Tyla who's a woman. They always challenge the mixed women. They look at them as easy prey. They challenge the multiracial female. These pro-wax, dark-skinned Bantu, Afrocentrics. They never go up to the men that challenge them. They know they're going to waste their time and they're going to look stupid. They always try to target and harass the women to identify with dark-skinned Bantu so they can bastardize them and conquer them.
They're black people. They blatantly go up to the mixed ones. And the same thing with Brazilian Pardus. When they leave the country and go to Dominican Republic or Brazil, they don't actually go into those actual black communities. They flood the Pardu community, the mixed race community there, and try to.
And I'm going to share a clip about that. Maybe if I have enough time right now, I can share it on this one. But I saw a clip with this guy, Austin Hollerman. I think that's if I'm pronouncing it correctly. He's like one of these passport bros where he was telling his audience, obviously black males, he was telling them like, oh, if you want to go get with women, you got to go to this area. Don't go with that area because they're trying to breed themselves out. But I'm like, that's the same thing you fucking blacks are trying to do. You go to these Latin countries to hook up with these chicks who are not black. You fuckers are trying to breed yourself out. But you see what the savagery and the mental pathology of the Bantu is, they're trying to twist it and put the blame on everyone else. They're trying to position it as the women want to breed themselves out, quote unquote, breed themselves out, right? Because it's a mixed woman, a Afro-Latina, and they're trying to shame them for wanting to get with the white guy. But this Bantu, he doesn't want to get with the woman of his complexion. He wants to get with the Afro-Latina. You see how the pathology they try to push? They're the ones, it's the passport bro who wants to breed themselves out. But they're going to try to position themselves and they're going to shame the women who don't want to give them access to the cat. I got a clip. I already got it right here. I might share it right now, but I want to mention that because that's what it is, man. They try to play this crap. They look at the men as competition. They look at the black skin guy or a guy like me or any mulatto man. Steph Curry, they're always talking shit about Steph Curry because he's light skinned. They're talking shit about Drake because he's mixed and light skinned. That's what it is. They hate on the men because they look at you guys as competition for in the sexual marketplace. My whole thing is I laugh. If you're a mulatto man and you identify with one of these Bantus, man, you're a fucking joker and a clown at this point. 2025. I don't get it. I've been up here for almost 3 years now. And you find my page, you like what I'm saying, you support the content. You're a man. You're a mulatto man. You got some fucking balls. Okay? And you still identify with people who are against you, who slander your name. I don't get it. I seriously do not understand it. I know I got good people over here, so I'm confident in what I'm doing. I got good people over here, so everything I'm doing is working out. Let's continue on.
To get them to identify as black. And they specifically target women. They do not target any man.
Yeah, and he's been listening to me. He already knows. Like, they don't target the women. I already mentioned that. They target them. They don't target the men. They target the women. Like I mentioned, the Phil Advice show. He's done several streams. One on Tyla, colored South African female. One on a Creole lady, and he also did a stream on a Dominican lady, trying to convince her to identify as black. All those streams are on my other channel, my Mulatto History channel. The Phil Advice show, dark-skinned Bantu, who's married to a Mexican woman. That's the hypocrisy of it all. He's not married to a black female, has kids with a black female, but he's trying to trick and convince these non-black women, mixed women, to identify as black. That's their strategy. We see it now.
In the real world, they do not press men to identify as black. That's only something online. In the real world, they will never go up to me or any mixed race man and make us try to identify with them.
No, it's straight facts. Like, none of these Bantus, dark skins try to convince me, oh, you still black. You know that, right? No, because they police blackness. They don't look at us as being the representation. That's why they hate on Steph Curry. And they don't want Steph Curry to be the representation of blackness. As I told you, in the hip hop world, because in sports world they already lost. They're done. The dark skin Bantu is finished in basketball and football and the sports world. They're done. Their last bastion of hope is in the entertainment and hip hop. That's why they're going hard in the paint against Drake, and they're trying to kick him out of blackness, right? Because yeah, they're not going to run up to you and try to convince you to be black. They're trying to kick you out of blackness. They look at you as competition. They're trying to get the women to be black. They're trying to get turn Cardi B to a baby mama. Who cares? You're not losing anything there. She's ghetto and ratchet, right? Cardi B, it's like, okay, who cares? She got a fake ass BBL. She looks like a fucking cartoon character with that fake BBL. Like, who cares? But, they're trying to convince the women, like the Miss Mulattas and stuff like that. They're trying to convince them to be black. They want to capture the women. The men, they look at as competition. They're never going to come up to us and run up to us and convince us to be black. I see some stupid comments where they talk about like the police going to see you as black. And you put one comment. These dumb savages, they're going to retract it quickly. Just all you have to do is just one comment to check one of these savages. And like they're going to give it up. They know it falls. Their logic is so flawed. Their main focus and target is the female. Period.
For the most part, it's very rare. They only press mixed race women.
How come?
Because they want access to those women and they don't look black.
And Ricardo asked him, how come? Shout out to El Blackskin guy said, they target the mixed race women, which they do. And then Ricardo replied, well, how come? And then El Blackskin guy said, well, because they just want access, because they're not black. Period. Right? They want the white women, they want the Mexican women, and Ricardo knows this. He sees Mexican women. That's why the El Blackskin guy is so comfortable talking to this dude, because it's like, bro, he's a part of your community in a sense. This guy's his heritage is Mexican. He knows you guys intimately more than me. I mean, for me, it's just environmental. I grew up in Southern California, so in that sense, culturally, environmentally, yeah, I'm very well much acquainted with you guys. But I cannot say as much as this dude here, El Blackskin guy. That's part of his heritage. So yeah, he's giving you all the straight shot answers. We're 7 minutes into this 11-minute clip. He's completely laid everything out, and like nothing like, and you see dumb blacks in the comments like trying to act like this guy's ugly. He doesn't know who he is. He looks like a black. No, he doesn't. You talk about his looks all you want, but all these pussies in the comments, see, the people who complain about your looks or talk crap about your looks, what I learned from social media, none of these people are on camera. All of these people who talk about your looks, none of them are cammed up or they're on camera. Even for me, I know my haters, my quote unquote ops, the people who talk shit about me, none of these fucking fruitcakes are ever on camera. But they talk so much shit about how I look. So I already know. Like, to me, you already got respect, bro. You got respect, homie, because you're on camera. And these people who want to talk all their little dumb shit, they're too fucking pussy to even be on camera. They can't say nothing as far as I'm concerned in this conversation. They got to stay in their lane. They got to be little pussies hiding behind their avatar. They need to stay over there. But the people who are the public figures who are over here on camera, we're going to be the ones talking, letting this shit be known.
What do you mean they want access to those women?
They want sexual access to the women. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. They want to date those type of women. They want to be with anything that doesn't look like them.
But
they want to be with anything that doesn't look like them. They want access to women. It's all about the box, right? Access to the box. That's it. And Ricardo knows it, but he's playing dumb because that's his audience. He doesn't want to alienate his audience, Very pitiful position. For me, I don't give a shit. Like, you guys unsubscribe, you subscribe, you guys leave. People find my page every day. I don't give a shit. This is not a full-time job. I'm not a full-time content creator. I'm not a quote-unquote YouTuber. Okay, I'm just hop up here, talk my shit, and I log off. I try to do my best to stay connected with you guys. I love you, you mulattoes who are proud to be mulatto. I dedicate this platform to you. This is for you. But to me, it's like that I'm not in the same realm as this Ricardo guy with this whole grift, trying to play into the insecurities of black people. He's trying to like save face and adhere to this facade. How long is he going to be able to do this? I don't know.
Women don't have to identify as black or be identified as black for them to date them. What is the necessity to identify them as black?
Oh, it helps justify their self-hatred. That's why they're so pressed on making those women identify as black. So it helps.
Boom. I got that sound effect for that because that's exactly what it is. Let me get this sound effect queued up. Let me get this shit. What he just said right there is exquisite, is part and parcel with everything. They trick these women. They want to get these women to identify as black to cover up their self-hatred. They want to sleep with something that's non-black. They don't want the short-haired, the wig-wearing, bald-headed, dark-skinned Bantu female. They want to get with a Latina woman or a Dominican woman and be like, well, your dad is black. You're mixed race. So you're black like me. You're a self-hater. Like they want to trick these mixed women into identifying as black because they want to cover up their own self-hatred, this dark-skinned Bantu. They don't want to get with a black female. They want to get with something that's not black to cover up their own hatred. That's all it is. Like, and I'm going to rewind it because this guy just hit the nail on the head of what it is.
That's why they're so pressed on making those women identify as black. So it helps them cope with the fact that they don't like themselves.
That's why they want to make these mixed women identify as black. It helps themselves cope to cover up their own self-hatred. Man, truer words have never been spoken. That's all it is, bro. That's all it is. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all it is. That's literally what it is why they're so fixated on getting the women to identify as black because they don't give a shit about a guy like me. They see a guy like me, they're going to hate me. They're like, oh, fuck you. You're short and bald. I don't like you. You know, that's cool. I don't identify with you savages. You're not my people. It's all good. But see, they're so fixated on the women. And what they hate about a guy like me, because a lot of women tune into my shit. They like my shit. They're my main supporters. It's not the men. I got a lot of men, even black skin guys. Shout out to him. Like, I got a lot of men who support me. Men who are better than me. I always say this. Bigger than me, stronger, in better shape. They got more money, more accomplished. I got mulatto men who are better than me in every metric, who support me, and I got a lot of love for them. I really thankful for you guys. Smarter than me, everything. But it's like majority of my core audience, the people who, the comments, everything, like it's the women, the mixed women who would support me. And that's ultimately why what they hate about me and they fear about us is that the women are getting encouraged and inspired because they see men who are developing some balls to really curate this whole mulatto consciousness and mulatto centered space where we uplift mulatto people. And they're very fearful of that because they want access to the women, to bastardize the women, to create more baby mamas, more foot soldiers for the Afrocentric community. Everything this guy said is just spot on point. They hate themselves. And so they want to trick these women to identify with them as black to cover up the fact that they hate themselves. There's no other way to put it. Spot on.
That's why you have like somebody like Dr. Umar, who's basically extended blackness to white people. Because if you're 25% black, 75% European, and I'm going to be specific what he's targeting. He was bringing up the Caribbeans. And the reason he's using those Caribbeans is because those Europeans don't look like Anglos, and they already have some level of melanin in their skin by default. So they're going to be more, they can be actually around my own skin tone and be 25% black, or just look like a white person just with a skin tone similar to mine. Why do you want us to identify as black so much?
What do I?
Why do you want us to identify as black so much? Who was asking that question? Was that Ricardo? Let's hear.
I want you to identify as black.
No, just a collective. Even the Dominicans are mixed. Why are you so invested in them identifying as black?
I'm not invested or interested in identifying you as black. I am aware that society identifies you as black.
No,
that's not true. Society does not identify him as black. Look at the man on the screen, El Blackskin guy. He's staring right into the camera. I think they had technical difficulties, so there was kind of a freeze frame or whatever. He looks like a mixed man. He does not look like a dark-skinned Bantu. Look at his skin tone. He has a light brown skin tone. Look at his hair texture. Look at the texture of his beard, his mustache and beard. He does not have the woolly textured hair of a Bantu. He is closely related to this Mexican. And you look at a guy, Ricardo, here, where it's like he's indigenous. He's trying to claim this indigenous because he's ashamed of his fucking Spanish European heritage. There's a lot of them like that. And it's like, that's the thing. Like this El Blaxican guy, in my understanding, he is more related to this Mexican dude than he is any of these dark-skinned Bantus. Yeah. Yeah, he looks more closely related to you, Ricardo. I'm going to tag you in this video, homie. He looks more closely related to you than these dark-skinned Bantus. You don't want to admit that. Well, you want to uphold the one-drop rule, right? But that's your audience, homie. That's your audience, bro. You got to appease them. You got to appease the Bantus, coddle their egos, make them feel good. See, I don't have that problem, homie. That's the difference between me and you. I don't got that problem, bro. We're all good over here.
Regardless, hold on. Let me at least give you my full input. Regardless of the fact that your mother is white and your father is black, the fact
you said your mother is white and your father is black. Interesting. I thought he's Blaxican. Well, he is Blaxican. Yeah, but his mother is white. His mother is primarily Spanish, Iberian, Peninsula, European. Spanish is European. So within the technicality, that is a mulatto. Mulattoes are European and African. Okay. And Ricardo is acknowledging that, saying your mom's white. But wait a second. I thought his mom's Mexican. Yeah, his mom's a white. Isn't that what you people, your audience, these blacks who are your audience, and they call that a white Hispanic? That's what these blacks call it, a white Hispanic. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So he falls underneath the mulatto category, but you have knucklehead blacks in the comment section looking at him like, well, he doesn't know who he is. He doesn't look like one of us. He doesn't look like a mulatto. Yeah. That's what I'll tell you. Like, you know, and I see these blacks and they pick and choose and all this shit. It's very interesting. Very interesting. Jordan Peele has a white mom and a black dad. And people say he's black passing, and it's like you got a guy like Lenny Kravitz, the guitarist, rock star, has a black mom, white dad. People say he's black passing. Okay, I get, yeah, whatever. You got a couple little celebrities you can reference and stuff. But I'm looking at the guy on the screen, El Blackskin guy. He looks black-skinned. He says he's black-skinned. He looks black-skinned. Like, he does not look like a dark-skinned Bantu. Do not let these savages trick you and confuse you. Now, he has a strong will. He's going to laugh at them. He knows they're full of shit. I know they're full of shit. The men know that the Bantu is full of shit. But you'll have a couple of the ladies who are easily persuaded that will play into the whole crap, you know. Only a couple. Not most of you, but only a couple. Who are knuckleheads, who are ill-informed, you know, and they're pro-whack. That's another thing too. Oh, well, he looks like a black guy. He looks like a black guy. Really? Like a Michael Jordan or a Wesley Snipes? Isn't that what you savages say? Wesley Snipes, oh, he's a Kang. He's a dark-skinned black guy. See, they use that as a metric. When they look at their heroes, they look at a dark-skinned Bantu. They don't look at a Blaxican, a mixed guy, like this gentleman you see on the screen. They don't look at him as a representation of blackness. They don't look at Drake, Drizzy, as a representation of black masculinity. That's why they hate on Drake. They don't look at Steph Curry as a representation of black masculinity. That's why they hate on Steph Curry with all the light skin jokes. They only look at the dark skinned Bantu like Tyrese or like Kunrik Lemoist or one of these people, Michael Jordan, as the representation of blackness. They only look at their fellow dark-skinned Bantu as a representation. They don't look at the mixed race man as a representation. So it's hilarious you have this outsider, this Ricardo Ignacio guy who wants to sit here and gaslight you. Well, you used to be pro-black at one point. What happened? You flipped. Why aren't you pro-black? We don't identify that. They don't look at us as part of their people. What's hard to understand, Ignacio? And these blacks aren't giving you that much money for you to come out here playing this dumb shit. You're not really getting paper like that and getting paid. Why are you embarrassing yourself, bro? That's what I want to ask. And I saw you with the riffraff and the Dominicans, and I kind of kept quiet and shit with Dominicans because they can hold their own. They're good. They got my support, and they're allies. They're our greatest allies, the Dominicans. And I saw you talking shit, throwing Dominicans under the bus. And I saw that the past year or so. But now you want to come over here and run your fucking mouth with these people who are in our space, in our group. You want to talk about this man and he's supposed to identify with the Bantu who's against mulatto men. Don't try this with us, bro. Don't make us build our networks and platforms off of you. Because the Bantus, they're not going to stay with you forever. They're supporting you now, just like these other grifters. They're supporting them now because you coddle their little feelings. But once you really get pressed, they're fickle people. They're gonna leave. They will. I promise you, they will.
Fact is that society will never in life, nobody in this society will ever identify you as white. But it's safe to say that you.
It doesn't matter if the society doesn't identify him as white. Ricardo, they don't identify your fucking brown ass as white either, with your little mustache and beard. You see how he's trying to play this binary game? He's like, well, the society doesn't identify you as white. Homie, Ricardo, bro. You're a Mexican, homie. The society doesn't identify you as white either, bro. You're not Anglo. That's what I'm trying to get to this guy. Like, what are you talking about, homie? Like, you're trying to like corner this dude to like be with the one drop rule and shit, but you're a brown essay, fool. Like, they don't identify your ass as white, Ricardo. And I know you're proud of your indigenous roots. Hey, I support that. I'm cool with that. I love the fact when I see mestizos or Mexican people, they embrace themselves fully, their Spanish, Aztec heritage. I'm cool with. I support you guys. My best friend is Chicano. Like, I support you guys. But don't even try to pull this shit to try to corner this dude here to just be like, well, the whites don't even accept you, but you just got to be with the blacks. You got a black audience, Ricardo. You got to basically what they say. The blacks say, clock it. You got to clock it. Yeah. Now you got to check yourself, bro. You're not white either, Ricardo. I don't know why you're pulling this shit.
You will be identified as black. You can go out of your way to identify yourself as a mix and whatever you want. It's safe to say that you will always be identified as black.
He's saying it's safe to say you'll always be identified as black, but by who? By the blacks? No. If he goes to Africa, they're going to say he's white. In South America, they're going to say, what are you? You mix. That's what they tell me. They ask me, what are you? And then they give me basically that liberty to tell them, I'm going to let you people know what I am. They give me the microphone. That's why I'm very cocky and bold right now. I my whole life in California, they're telling me, what are you? Are you Brazilian? Are you Puerto Rican? What are you, Mulatto Vanguard? What are you? Right? They don't know what the hell I am. Right? So this Ricardo guy is trying to act like, well, society is going to see you as black. No, I don't think so. No, because when they stand him next to these dark-skinned Bantus, everybody's going to know the difference. You don't look like one of them. You're not the same as them. Put him next to Kendrick. They're not the same people. Kendrick represents the dark-skinned Bantus who are proud victims. This guy, black-skinned guy, doesn't look like one of them, doesn't resemble them. Clear distinction, clear difference. Ricardo knows it. He's playing dumb because he's placating to his audience. He's got a black audience. And this is where it's all coming from.
But never as white. Do you think that people have looked at you and assume you were black?
Yeah, probably. But the
Right.
average
Do you
person
think? Do
isn't
you
going
think?
around thinking mixed people are like when you have you do you know how extreme black people look?
What do you mean?
They look very inhuman. Like when you compare them to every other monoracial group, they don't blend in anywhere.
Now he kind of went overboard there. He's like he said they look very inhuman. Maybe that, I don't know what I'll say about that. It's like he went kind of extreme there, but he said they don't look like any other monoracial group. Where they're their own distinct identity, their own distinct group. A Bantu does not look like an Asian or European or a Latino. Like, okay, yeah, they don't, or Arab. They don't look like any of these other groups. Yeah, we get that. They don't look. So there's no debate about that. I don't know why he said inhuman though. You're gonna catch flack for that. Those are your words, bro, not mine. So
Their mixed offsprings blend in more with whatever the hell they mix with because they have really weak genetics. I'm not just
I agree with him right there. I'm gonna because this is a perfect example because even with this freeze frame where he's sitting there on top of Ricardo there, and I said this earlier, like several minutes ago, he looks more like Ricardo's people than he does when he's dark skinned African Bantus. And like he said, the Africans, they do not have the strongest genetics. They can mix in with whites and get completely erased within 2 generations. This whole black is dominant. You have these dumbass pro-wax like Dr. Umar with this lie that black is so dominant, but yet he's against race mixing. If black was so dominant, why are the pro-wax so against mixing of races? No, because you people are not the dominant race. You mix with these whites, they absorb your ass. Same thing with these Hispanics. Like look at El Blackskin guy. He looks more connected to Ricardo than he does black. Ricardo knows this. He knows in his heart this is true, but he's not going to publicly say it because Ricardo's whole audience is black. Ricardo Ignacio, his whole audience is black. He's not going to admit the truth that, yeah, this El Blackskin guy is more related to him than he is to one of these dark skinned African Bantus. So when these blacks, they mix with other groups, yeah, that the child, the offspring is going to be able to more fix in and mix in with the groups, especially if they're a mulatto, they're, say like quadroon, etc. Then most definitely if they're quadroon like the rapper Logic or something like that, there's other rap like Andrew Tate or Tristan Tate, they'd fall into that quadroon category because their father is like mixed, not purely black, right? The Tate brothers. So it's like, yeah, those guys are a Logic, one of these people, like, yeah, they can fix in and mold into the white group way easier. They're basically white. Nobody will question that, right? So that just proves a black is not dominant. And people know this. They just not that many people publicly express this.
saying this to be funny. When they breed with things, their kids favor whatever the fuck they breed with. Because they're so extreme, everything about them, their 4C hair, there's even things beyond 4C hair. Their nose, their lips, how their skin tone is. It's not just dark, it's a specific dark skin tone to them. Last year, there was a mixed woman that went into a black hair salon. There was a black woman that blatantly stated, I hate you, you mulatto bitch.
Now, it wasn't a hair salon. I know he's talking about the case. It was up there in Texas, out there in Texas. It was in like Dallas area. And it was the lady, and I messaged the lady, and she said that both of her parents are mixed. Okay, I don't know. She could be within the griff category or mulatto. I don't know the lady's whole background, but the lady, there wasn't a hair salon. It was like a beauty supply store the lady walked into. And this black beast ran up in there and was hating on the woman, telling her, "Oh, you got a white mom." And I messaged the lady. The lady said her parents are mixed. So, but it doesn't matter. They look at your phenotype. You don't look like one of them. They're racist. And you got Brazilians talking about that now. I saw they did the translation, which I'm working on as well. And yeah, the Brazilian did the translation to share it to her audience. And so they're seeing it now too. They're seeing these crazy racist blacks, supremacists who are hating on mulattoes here in America. So other people around the world are seeing that and it's getting translated to their language. Where it's like, yeah, this is a real phenomenon here. So that he's talking about that scenario that happened like a year ago, right?
There was white men saying, why do you mixed women identify as black? When they say we mixed men look like them, it's really weird that the men that they claim look like them, they never will put those men as a leading role. They will never have these men as what it means to be a real black man.
That's the whole thing with sports, and that's the whole thing with Drake, with entertainment, right? They were whining and crying. I remember one of these black racists, the irritated genie, he was saying that, oh, when Wesley Snipes came out in the 80s, that was the first time I saw a real black man being represented in Hollywood. They don't look at you mixed people as being their representation. That's why, to me, it's very pathetic and disgusting when I see these mixed men identify with these fucking Bantus. They don't look at you as being their representation. That's why they hate Steph Curry. Oh, you light skins, African American, you light skin. And they hate Steph Curry because they don't look at him as a representation of dark skinned masculinity. That's why they hate Drake. They hate seeing this mulatto man dominating. They don't look at him as being a representation of dark skinned masculinity. Right. So that's why we laugh. The men laugh when you're this outsider, this Ricardo guy, Ignacio is trying to tell us like, well, you look like you're black, or the other people see you as black. Or it's like, well, we don't represent them. Like, they don't want us representing them and their masculinity. And we're good with that. We don't want to represent you people. We're good. But you still got these people trying to push these narratives and these basically, yeah, the narratives onto us, or it's like we got to accept this deal. No, we don't.
And they're always depicting a dark-skinned man with any other non-black woman or mixed woman. So they
like a Tyrese. They depict a Tyrese dark-skinned Bantu with like a non-black female, or a Michael Jordan, another dark-skinned Bantu with a non-black female, or a Shannon Sharp, another dark-skinned Bantu with a non-black female. Yeah, so they always depict them, the males, as being the representation of black masculinity. These dark-skinned Bantu males, but yet their partners are never Bantu females. It's always non-black. Very interesting how that is, right?
They don't believe in none of that. They don't believe in none of that shit. They're the ones promoting all that colorism and racism, and their black women won't fucking call them out on it.
Their black women won't fucking call them on it. This whole clip in 11 minutes, like I said, I'm with El Blaxican guy. He completely held it down. I only saw a couple minutes. This is impromptu right now. But earlier, I only saw a couple minutes, but I played the whole thing where like 1 minute left over. He laid it all out. I agree with everything he said, except for when he overgeneralized mixed women. That's something that we got to be careful with, because we have a lot of mulattas, mixed women who support us, and we have to support them. Like, we cannot overgeneralize these women who support us. We got to be careful when we're publicly out here, and so that's one critique I have with the man. But everything else, what he's saying is accurate. Everything else, but like, let me rewind back, because what he just said right here is just spot on. Like,
they don't believe in none of that shit. They're the ones promoting all that colorism.
Yeah, they're the ones promoting all the colorism and racism. All these fucking dark-skinned Bantus, Kwame Brown, Tariq Nasheed, Dr. Umar Johnson, all these dumb pro-whack savages hating on the mulatto man, the Kendrick fans hating on Drake, all these racists. They're promoting the colorism, right? Not Like Us is a colorism, anti-biracial man anthem. They promote all that shit.
And racism, and their black women won't fucking call them out on it.
And that's what I wanted to pause on it, because their own black women won't fucking call them out on it. They won't. They coddle them. The dark-skinned Bantu boy is coddled primarily by his mama, his Bantu mama primarily, but also these fucking whites, these fucking Anglos. They coddle these dark-skinned fucking Bantus, and they put a battery in their back against us. That's where the problem comes in. That's where you got guys like me coming up in here. We got to challenge this stuff, Because yeah, the Anglos are coddling these fucking Bantus to be against us. And even Hispanics are coddling these fucking Bantus. You got this Ricardo Ignacio guy up here coddling his whole audience are dark-skinned Bantus. They, in social media, they coddle them to be against us, to be against the mulatto man, to be against the mulatto female, to be against Dominican people, to throw us under the bus to appease dark-skinned Bantus. This is what it is.
They just get mad at mixed women or any other race of women when it's not their fault. This is what their men are doing. And when their men literally like not to be fucked.
Yeah, because they're coddled. And that's the thing. Like, and the black females coddle them, you know, more than anybody else. But yeah, the whites and Hispanics and even mixed people, they coddle them. Yeah, they're coddled in society. So they think they can do whatever the hell they want out here. So once you check their ass, then they get super uppity. Oh, you anti-black. You sound like a white supremacist. They get super uppity and scared because you caught their ass. It's like, oh, I'm watching you now. Right? Then they get super scared. Once you figure out their scheme, once you see them, it's like a cockroach. They stop in the light. No, I see you. I see you now. Yeah, because they've been getting away with this for far too long. Playing on people's emotions, trying to get guilt trip people, make them feel sorry for them. All right. Trying to trick people and guilt trip people out of some pussy and shit. Like, I never had to do that. I never had to guilt trip a chick out of some tail. You know, I heard these stories. There's a dude, shout out to him, the light skin historian. That's his channel. Shout out to him. I like that cat, light skin historian, because he talks about that too. He's like, he talks about how some of these dudes, like, they try to guilt trip chicks out of some pussy. It's funny. It's so believable too, like how that dynamic works. They try to get these women to feel sorry for them. Oh, I was picked on for being dark skinned, and you know, people didn't like me because I was dark skinned, and you know, they only wanted light skinned people around, and they try to like guilt trip these women to give them some pussy, man. Because they're dark skinned and shit. Like, it's so pathetic, but that it's so believable and plausible when I see this shit, because they got a bunch of tricks up their sleeves, man, to get people to feel sorry for them. And it's like, it's kind of pitiful. Like I said, the biracial baby mama or the mixed race chick who like falls for this shit. And it's like, damn. And then, okay, now you got black kids, but like now you're pro mix. Like, well, now what? Like, how is this gonna work out? Like, your audience is gonna be black males. Like, you got black kids by a black guy. Like, I get it, you're mixed or whatever the hell you are, but it's like your audience is always gonna be primarily black males. Like, the mixed men are not gonna support that. Do you not understand that? Like, you want to be black, and that's where you got to stay. Okay, the men have integrity, and you know, I know your feelings are gonna get hurt. You people are gonna listen to this. You're gonna hear this. But this is, I'm just being real with you. This is what it is. Like, the men have dignity there, and that's it.
But these men,
The mixed women who support mixed men, they're going to get promoted, pedestalized, endorsed, sponsored, financed, period. The women who support the men, the mixed women who support the men, they're going to be the ones who get all the endorsement and support. The mixed women who want to be black, they want to identify as black, they become a baby mama by a black guy. It's like, and then you can't ask mixed men for shit. Okay, I'll be the bad guy, let you know what it is, but we don't have the simps and the incels, they're discouraged from being over here. So if you want those guys, you got to go elsewhere for that.
and these men rather fuck a man, a light skinned man, than be with dark skin. I'm not joking. We talk about this in the mixed race community. They literally, no, I'm not being funny. Like, have you ever New Jack City? I don't know if you remember that one scene where
Yeah, New Jack City, he's like, oh, you pretty mother effer. I don't never liked your pretty mother effer. He called him pretty. He called this man pretty. Yeah, New Jack City. Dark skinned Bantu. Wasn't that like Wesley Snipes, their hero? When he's dark skinned Bantus. He called the light skinned dude pretty or something like that. Yeah. That's their dark-skinned Bantu homosexual tendencies.
Where that dark skinned guy grabbed that light skinned guy behind his neck and was like, "I could never stand you, pretty motherfuckers." Doesn't that sound kind of gay? I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, it sounds really gay. He called him pretty. He called another man pretty. Yeah. Well, he's dark-skinned Bantu pathology. Yeah, they always reference that too, the Bantus, like because that's their hero. Irritated Genie, the black supremacist, these other characters, they always reference Wesley Snipes like as their hero, their dark-skinned savior, right? In that scene, New Jack City, well, that was before my time too, man. I'm a '90s baby. I think that was like late '80s or something. I saw the movie, but to me it was kind of pathetic. I don't identify with you people. I'm not a part of your group, so to me it was just entertainment. To me, whatever.
Come on.
I've had black men hit on me. I'm not just saying like no, they are attracted to mixed race men. I'm not just saying this. I've had there's a reason we say that they've actually tried hitting on me.
Damn. I got a lot of you people in the chat. Do I have the link pinned? I thought I dropped the link earlier. Let me pin it right now. My apologies. I should have pinned it earlier. We're almost 2 hours deep in this. I got the link pinned, so if you guys want to jump on the panel, I'll let you up in here. Am I going to read all our comments? No. There's too many of you guys. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate you guys being here. Bunny Trixel Strange says, gotcha, my bad. Still, he needs to focus on his own community. Stop pandering to Bantu females. Who's pandering to Bantu females? You're probably responding to somebody in the chat. I'm not sure who it is. For me, a guy like me, they hate me either way. They say that, like, at first they say I don't like mulatto women, like the future is golden, who's a lesbian, feminist, separatist. She's trying to get her own little clique of lesbian mulattoes to be against me. You got the future is golden, who's trying to say that I'm against mulatto women, right? But then you got these guys who are trying to say that I'm a panderer and I'm a simp and a panderer and a cuck for mulatto women. It's like, why don't you guys make up your mind? Which one is it? Do I pander to the mulatto women and kiss their butt and simp for them? Or am I like a hater of them? They never get their story straight. These people, my detractors, they never get it straight. They always have conflicting narratives. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like they say that I don't like mulatto women, but yet all of my supporters are like mulatto women. And then they try to turn around and say that like I'm pandering and simping for mulatto women. Like what the fuck? That's why this social media shit is very bizarre. People make up fake narratives and fake stories. And yeah. What's up, Al?
Hello. It's really, really ironic. If that's the right term. That guy that you had on in the video, I think I just saw a couple videos of his because I saw a video earlier today. Light Skin Historian, I think his name is. I had seen a video of his and a couple of videos, and then I came across this guy. The guy who was in the video, not the black skin guy, the other guy. What's his name?
Ricardo Ignacio. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know his name. And I saw a couple videos. You know what I think this guy is? He's what I call a professional ally. You know what I mean by that?
Nah, most definitely. Grifter, for sure. Yeah.
Right. Well, he could be a grifter. But what I mean by is you have people that are very interested in other ethnic groups, right? So what happens is someone like that, like this guy, I don't know a thing about this guy. What'd you say? Ricardo was his name? Now, here's the thing that you have to kind of wonder. Like, okay, this guy's Mexican, but he's constantly talking about African Americans and so forth. And it's like, okay, you're not talking about it from a cultural standpoint. Like, you're not talking about music, you're not talking about movies, you're not talking about sports, you're not talking about anything that people from other ethnic groups would get interested in as a kind of way of dealing with African Americans. So What he's probably interested in is probably, I bet, black women. He probably is really into black women, and so
Yeah, I think his girlfriend, one of his girlfriends, was like a Dominican mixed kind of Afro Latina black. Which, yeah, black women are attractive. I like black.
yeah.
I
Well,
like
see,
all women.
that's the point. Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
but
that's why I think he's doing that. That's
for the
part of
whole
it.
brand, I don't know, man. For the whole brand, why would he like risk his whole brand and personality just for like a specific demographic? Like, if is his heart really into it? What that he just likes black women? Yeah, I mean, I guess like
That may be a part of it. It also, he may. I've noticed this over the years. Before I got on biracial groups or even on YouTube biracial, it's just something I've noticed in general.
I just
You
noticed
when
now.
you
I
go
just
ahead.
noticed you're commenting on two different channels. That's hilarious. You're on
Yeah.
two different
You
channels.
got me. They got me.
I
No.
caught you.
What happened
I
is,
caught you.
go ahead.
Hey, no,
What
I
happened is,
well,
go ahead.
another too. I caught your live earlier, man. I want to tell you, I really appreciate the live you had earlier on biracial topics with the whole light skin black and the mulatto or biracial situation. I really like how you eloquently laid it out. I really appreciate the live you had earlier. I know you put all your videos on private and stuff like that, but you laid it out perfectly. Like that's the
Mhm.
thing is that like we're not part of their group, their community. And
Right.
us, if
Oh,
we get
it's
disrespected, go ahead. Yeah.
sorry. Go ahead. Well, see, the reason I did that was this. Again, it has to do with a video. Just like with this Ricardo guy. Okay, that's part of the reason I'm up here. I saw a video from, I don't know her name, Ginger for You or whatever her name is, and she did like a couple of videos. And I guess a lot of people came to when she had done something about light skin and biracials getting together, or maybe they should get together, or maybe they should do that. She got, I guess, a lot of response for her channel. I guess she wasn't used to that because it sounded like she wasn't. And so here's what the reason why I explained that. And I don't put out live streams, I don't put out any videos. My channel's defunct. But the reason why I explained that on her channel, and I know there were a bunch of people that went on, because she mentioned, I think she's been on your channel before. Someone called Renata Mulata, I think.
Oh yeah, she's
Um,
amazing. She's
yeah,
amazing. I really respect her. Renata Mulata, yeah.
right. I guess she had left a response, but then deleted it or whatever. Um, so here's the problem. So let me just go over this briefly before getting back to this. Here was the problem with the video. I think the woman meant well, and I guess she was in your chat at one point for one of the lives. Here's the problem, and you mentioned this earlier at one point. The so-called light-skinned people are essentially identified as African Americans. They're essentially identified as black people
Yeah, they
because,
identify as black. That like
yeah,
it's different. They're not the
because they
same as
are
biracial.
essentially, although they're mixed race, they're essentially black people.
That's how they
Uh,
identify. Yeah.
right, right. So when they go through the whole light skin taunting and teasing and attacks and put downs and disrespect, they don't have a recourse other than those that I'm aware of who call themselves like MGM, right? The multi generationally mixed. And there's some of those that are just going, look, we're just mixed race. We don't really see ourselves as black people. We don't really see ourselves as European. We don't really see ourselves as native or anything else. We're just multi generationally mixed. We're just mixed people, right? So that's the only outlet that they would really have. Because they are considered, quote, light skin, which is a terrible phrase. I don't like that phrase, but hey, that's what it's used. Because they're considered that, but because they're African American or considered Black Americans, there's no recourse to them other than to just say, I'm mixed race. And I don't know how many of them would actually do that. Some might, but most won't. So their only recourse is within the African American or the Black American community. And they therefore have to deal with Black Americans, there at some point, maybe it's on an individual level. I don't know if this can be done collectively, but you're going to have to deal with people in your community, in your neighborhoods, in that, and personally, and deal with that. Biracial people, on the other hand, and the Blaxican guy who was on that video, he kind of tapped into this as well. Years ago, when I first started coming on mixed race groups on Facebook, I was told by biracial guys, black guys in general, or a number of black guys, they do not consider mixed race guys black. They don't see you as black.
But
They don't see
consider
you
the
as that.
women as black. This is the kind of
It's one of the differences.
This is the schism we see. They don't see the men. I mentioned that. That's why they hate Drake. They don't want Drake to represent dark-skinned masculinity in hip hop, and they don't want Steph Curry to represent dark-skinned masculinity within the sports and basketball world. So they don't like the men. They don't want the men to represent dark-skinned masculinity, but they don't have that energy for the women. All of a sudden, when it's a light-skinned female woman like a Halle Berry or a Zendaya, you name it, they all of a sudden it changes. They're like, oh, that's a black woman. She's got a black dad. Oh, so she's black. But then when it's the man, if the man has a black dad, they're like, oh, well, you were raised with the white woman in a white community. You ain't down with the hood like us. So that's the game they play. I'm trying to get these younger mulattoes to wake up and smell the coffee to build their own shit. Like, there's enough mulattoes now. You guys can just click up and develop your own networks. It's really ridiculous to play games with these people. Go ahead.
Well, it's bait and switch. And so one of the things that I've said this elsewhere, there's a space that's operative within African American communities for mixed race females, for mixed race women. They not only allow mixed race women to be considered African American, they insist upon it, depending on the communities and depending on the individuals.
Well, they pressure them, and that's what El Blackskin guy was saying. They kind of pressure them, like even Phil Advice Show. I've done numerous streams where he was trying to get Tyla, the South African colored woman. The Phil Advice Show was trying to tell her, oh, she needs to get right with Black Americans and learn about Black American culture and be Black, right? And he did a stream about a Creole lady trying to shame the Creole lady, saying, well, these Creoles, they're colorist because they wanted to mix with each other and to maintain their color. And the same Phil Advice Show did a stream about Dominican women. They always try to pressure these mixed race women, whether they're Creole, Dominican, or colored in South Africa. They try to pressure them to identify as Black so they can bastardize them. They're always attacking the women. But with the men, see, they're not even going to try us like that, because they already know what time it is. They don't look at us as being there. Right, go ahead.
There's no space for biracial men in African American communities. In other words, it's like think about a parking lot, right? Like some people have parking spaces for themselves if they work at a company. For the biracial women, there's a parking space for them, in a sense, in this parking lot, if you want to see African American community as such, right? It's parking space for them. Whereas if you're a biracial guy, you got to go up and down that lot looking for a slot. You got to look for a space because there's not going to be one reserved for you, right? No reserved spaces for you. You got to find your own space. So that's something. And again, I was told that by biracial guys online. That's how I found out about it. So that's the way it operates. And so for the most part, like I said, again, for me, it's academic. I didn't grow up in African American communities, so I didn't find out about this stuff till I was like in my 40s. I mean, by then, I kind of lived life. I mean, I'm kind of used to.
I have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
So when did you start getting involved in the biracial spaces on Facebook? Was it like a decade ago, 10 years ago? How old were you at that time when you started getting involved in biracial spaces?
It was 15 years ago.
Interesting. So how old were you at that time?
40. I was
Interesting.
I was 4 years old. Yep,
Yeah,
that's how it
way
was.
before me.
Yeah. It was quite a while ago. What happened was I was on YouTube and I saw a documentary trailer. It wasn't a documentary. It was a trailer for a documentary called "I'm Biracial, Not Black." Damn it, I forget who the filmmaker is. I'm not aware of it. I saw that. That changed everything. That literally changed everything because that is what made me seek out biracial people and biracial groups, and I guess created everything. I
You
guess you
want to
could say
know?
that's why I'm here.
Yeah, it's good to hear. I appreciate you sharing that. Like, and I can say for me, what kind of helped open my eyes up was when I moved to San Diego. When I moved to San Diego to finish up my college, degree, and I started to navigate more into black spaces, black neighborhoods. I lived in a black neighborhood, predominantly black neighborhood, but still navigating black spaces, even on campus, the university I attended, and it really opened up my eyes. I was like, damn. Like these are not my people. It really opened up my eyes. This is like around 2019. I always talk about like my epiphany moment and my awakening. I realized, oh shit, these are not my people. Like, and I sympathize with them. I saw what was going on, and but they helped me realize that I'm not a part of their group. I'm not a part of their family. And I was in San Diego around 2019. And it was through
Interesting.
physical. It wasn't online. I mean, there was some stuff online. I'd see some comments, and even with the like anti-mulatto hysteria, I'd see some like irritated genie, but I kind of chuckled at it, irritated genie, because to my understanding, I was kind of like, well, he's an outlier. He's kind of a radical. Like he's not most of these black people. That's how I perceived it. But the stuff that's promulgated through the airwaves on the internet, people off the internet, they take it to heart. So it's like I started seeing like similar sentiments and negativity and ostracization like on the college campus and different groups and different networks dealing with black people. And I was like, damn, like the cold shoulder and the negativity. And I was like, interesting, interesting. So I,
Yeah.
I
What?
woke up around 2019. Go ahead.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Irritated Genie. I've heard that name before. I don't know if I've seen him on YouTube or come across him on YouTube. Is he like anti mulatto, anti biracial? Is he one of those?
Yeah, he's hardcore. He's one of his spearheads because his hero and his intellectual thought leader is Chancellor Williams. So he's one of the
Oh,
biggest proponents of the Chancellor Williams anti-mulatto conspiracy theories. That's his whole branding, is basically anti-mulatto. He's one of those guys. He's branded himself as that. And so he's one of the main ones who's anti-mulatto out of all these
I
other
yeah,
Afrocentrics. Yeah.
now that I'm thinking about it, I probably did maybe see one or two things because that name is familiar. Not too much, but maybe a couple things.
Check out
Because
this
if
comment.
he's good,
No, go ahead. Finish up your thoughts. Go ahead.
oh, okay. I probably came across one or two videos that he did because I know there was one guy who was promoting. He was clearly anti-mulatto, anti-biracial, anti-mixed race, and he was like doing slides somewhere. I don't know, it was some presentation
There's a lot of
somewhere,
them.
and
Yeah. There's
yeah.
a lot of them that popped up over the years. And they haven't been checked. And that's why I'm here now, because we have to challenge them. Like yesterday, I did a stream with a guy who did a video a couple years ago, but they're very confident. Even the dummies, even like the ghetto kind of pro-black
Oh
dummies,
yeah, that idiot.
they,
Yeah, that guy
because
sounded drunk and stupid.
he
I
could barely
literally wrote
read.
that.
He could barely
I
read.
mean, we sounded illiterate,
But the
like
thing
gutter
is like
illiterate.
they're very cocky now. So even the dummies of the black group, the lower class, dummy, uneducated black people, they're very cocky and emboldened now to talk, and they're smearing mulattoes. That's why it's important for us to have our media to challenge the rhetoric. Check out this comment here. There's a colored gentleman here. He puts, the people who are referred and labeled as light skinned often lack the support and community backing that mulattoes and multiracial have. So they are
Hmm.
often left to suffer at the hands of Bantus. I agree with him. What are your thoughts on that?
Interesting. That sort of taps slightly, not entirely dovetails, but that was part of what I've been talking about because of that lady Ginger for you. I don't know her name.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
but what they don't understand is, again, the difference with, because I explained the so-called light skin, with the biracial and multiracial people, again, what they have is the ability not only to cite their ancestry and their heritage and all that to people and say, I'm this, that, and the other thing, but they have the ability to say, look, if this community doesn't accept me, I'll try another community. Now they may not like you either, but at least you've got another community. And one of the things I'd say for any multiracial or biracial person is don't ever, besides not identifying as one race or one ethnicity or whatever, which I don't think is a good idea, obviously, always try to have multiple communities. They don't have to be ethnic or racial, but multiple communities that you can belong to. So it doesn't have to be ethnic or racial. It could be some hobby you're into, or it could be professional, or it could be something else. But you want to get away, you want to be in a community where you can be accepted or at least coexist with people and be relaxed and comfortable. And so I think what I'm seeing with the people that are light skinned is they may not have that within the Black American communities. I don't know because I can only go by what I've seen in videos and presentations of news or whatever. But with multiracial and biracial people, again, some of them have choices. They can go to other ethnic and racial communities, and they
yeah.
can go, okay,
We have options, right, Al?
precisely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And even you mentioned, even like say, because your hobbies, like say, the Trekkies, right? Like you have
Yeah, like Star
multiple,
Trek. Yeah.
you have multiple hobbies and interest where you can
Mhm.
venture off and network with people and other groups where it's like you'll be good. You can develop
Oh
a
yeah.
community with them, right? And I think that's the key thing you mentioned earlier. I really appreciate your live earlier. A lot of people over here, I got about 40 people in the chat listening, viewers. They might have not like tuned in to your live, but you had a live stream earlier on one of your channels, and I was tuning in because I'm subscribed. I have my notification bell on for your channel. And when you do biracial topics, like I said, you've been in these like mulatto or biracial spaces for 15 years before me. So I really like the information that you, in your perspective that you share. I respect that. And I saw your video, even if you do a little spew that's 15, 20 minutes, like there's a lot of nuggets in there and information that you espouse that's very crucial and that I resonate with, because it's like you're right. Like the main difference is, like you mentioned with this ginger person, and I never responded to her because it's like this is pointless. Like she is stuck in the African American community. She said in her video, where it's like, well, that's just the way it is. She was saying that, well, yeah, black people, dark skinned people make jokes about light skinned people, but that's just the way it is. For me, I don't accept that. I'm a biracial man, a mulatto man. To me, if someone hates me or disrespects me, if they're white or black, I just get the hell away from them. I find my own community. And that she can't
Right.
do that. She can't do that. She's stuck with black people. And that's the difference between mulatto Americans, biracial people, and light-skinned black Americans, is that they're stuck with black people. That's their community. That's all they know. And that's the
Right.
major difference. And you pointed that out eloquently on your live
Mhm.
stream. And I appreciate that. Go ahead.
Well, thank you. I appreciate your kind words about it. And again, so that's why I said earlier, because it's just simply who they are. I mean, that's who they identify with. So the problem is we can't. There's nothing that we as multiracial and biracial people can do. Now there may be some biracial people who are in the black communities who consider themselves black that may want to help the the so-called light skin and so forth. But for the most part, there's nothing we could do because, and this is borne out by some of what was stated, not only that Blaxican guy said with this Ricardo guy, but also what we've been talking about. If we're talking about biracial men, we are not considered part of the black community. This might be considered controversial to some, but it's not really. It's just the way it is. Nobody wants to bring this out. I mean, even though it's clearly the case. It's clearly the case. And so biracial guys are not really considered African American. They're not really considered Black American. They're not considered part of that community because they don't really see them as fellow Black people. Now, it's very interesting. This is something else I wanted to kind of share with you. I was on YouTube, and for some reason, some channel popped up in my algorithm. I don't know what it was. I think it was called Black Betterment Broadcast. Have you heard of this channel?
No, I've never heard of it. Sorry.
Yeah, I hadn't either. So it came up. I was there. It was very interesting. They were doing something called, and this is the only reason that I looked at it, Black biracial bonding and something else. I'm like, what does that mean? And these were people in the UK. And they were trying to say that, because they had a guy up there who was mixed race, but he was one of these pro-blacks, or pro-black, I guess he was Pan-African maybe. And so this is in the UK and everything. So I'm in the chat. I end up doing this, and it's kind of interesting because I know in the UK that you have a substantial number of mixed race people. It was like 1 in 10 according to statistics, or that you have a significant number of them, right? But these people, I mean, they even had like a bunch of people they put up in some graphic, and they said, well, the Black diaspora, not diaspora, maybe it was diaspora, but Black individuals comprise a number of people. So for them, they were like, oh, we want to build and we want to construct and we want to do things. And there was this guy in the chat, Foster. Have you heard of him? But he was in the chat. But it was interesting. Like, I didn't go on their panel or anything like that. I was just in the chat. But there was a guy who went up, and his name was Mulatto or something. I don't know who he is. But he was going up there, and he was trying to answer these guys and he was trying to say, you know, instead of identifying yourself as Black or try to do that, why don't you simply identify yourself as what you are, which is mulatto, which is mixed race, and do what you can to build up mulatto and mixed race people. Now, again, I don't know who this guy is. I've never seen him before, but he was making some decent arguments. Even I had to admit he was making some decent arguments to these guys. But these were people that saw mixed race people as part of the African community. And the problem is that, to my knowledge, that's not the case in African nations. Now, mixed race people can be African citizens, right? Citizens of the country. But there's a very clear delineation in African nations. Like, you go to South Africa, the colored are completely different from, I'll just say, African people. In fact, they will state the term African. I think there was a guy in South Africa even that was put on trial for calling himself an African. I think he saw himself as Black and called himself African. He's put on trial because he was violating some law or something. I don't know what it was. But in South Africa, for example, they cannot consider a colored person to be Black. And you have these colored people that go and say, oh, I'm culturally colored, but I'm politically Black. Like, what does that mean? I mean, I'm not an expert in South African. I mean, I know a good deal about South Africa, but I'm like, how can you be culturally one thing and politically another thing? I even mixed race people in this country don't do that. It's just not the case. But the point that I was making is with this thing that I came across is ultimately, and here's another part of this aspect, right? This is the UK, so I think there are some people who are either Black Americans or maybe in the UK it's a little different, but there's some people that want to see mixed race people, probably more women than men, but mixed race people as Black because they think they're doing a solid. Like they think they're being tolerant and they're doing the right thing and they're trying to have solidarity and they're trying to like they think it's they're that they're doing something that's good and positive. And what they don't understand is that doesn't really work for mixed race people. If we talk about the US, we just aren't considered. This is the dirty little secret, and this is the thing that people just don't want to deal with. Mixed race men, right off the bat, are just not considered Black men. They're just not. And ultimately, biracial men and women are really not a part of Black American communities. They're just not a part. That's why they're different from the so-called light skin. Because at the end of the day, Black Americans will definitively say and do at times to mixed race people, what they will do is they'll say, look, you're not really one of us. You're not really part of the community. You're not really, you're different. You're not Black enough. You're not this. That's what will ultimately happen. I remember years ago when I was on Facebook, there was a guy on one of the threads who said, there will come a day when Black people will tell you you're not Black. And at that instant, I knew he was right. Now, that wasn't an issue that I had to face because I, again, was raised in a multicultural, multiracial environment. So I've always been a biracial person and always been a mixed race person. But for those that are raised in Black communities or raised in Black American communities or raised in other kind of communities, it's hard for them because that's why some of these women and some guys, they try so hard to fit in as Black people. But you're trying to fit into a community that ultimately doesn't see you as part of their community. It's different with the so-called light-skinned people. Yeah, they may call them names and put them down and so forth, but they kind of see them as part of the community. They may
Exactly.
resent them, but they see them as part of the community. And I think that's what they have to understand. Like those biracial people, they don't get it. The guy Blaxican, whatever his name was,
Yeah,
that
black
was on
skin
the
guy.
video, Blaxican
Uh-huh.
guy,
Yep.
he understood obviously, probably because of his experiences. He gets that.
He doesn't
And
look like
so,
them. I
yeah,
mean, I could go back to the comment section. I know I kind of jumped on with the panel and stuff. I initially was like, oh, I could check out the comments and stuff like that. But
Black
like,
people.
if you go to the comment section, you got people here who are trying to be like, well, he looks like one of them. He's confused. Look at the comment here. It says, not even trying to be funny, but is he on the spectrum? These people, what is he mixed with exactly? Hate and confuse. See, they're saying you're confused. It's a female as well, right? Another female here, Jax Eve. These are blacks, African American women. They're not mulatto women. And they're saying that is exactly what I have perceived. The social awkward behaviors, the inability, mental self-censor, verbally. There are certain conversations we have mentally that we don't verbalize. Whatever, just stupid gaslighting crap. Let's see what this guy here says. I'm a black man with indigenous heritage and Haitian. And my hair was cut twice in school for its texture as an adult, blah, blah, blah. To see our people throughout the African diaspora feel this way about themselves, it was just stupid. Another lady here puts, if delusional was a person in his life, has he looked in the mirror? He doesn't look black. Like, look at this guy here, this Daquan Robinson. El Blaxican guy doesn't look like Daquan Robinson. These people are lying their teeth off. And then this person here puts, drugs are real. That's a damaged man right there. What's damaged about him? He doesn't identify as black. See, it's crazy. This Mexican has a majority black audience. That's the number one thing for me. That's crazy. And this person puts here, somebody hurt him. He may have been bullied. Yeah, a lot of you blacks are racist savages. You bully people who don't look like you. Yeah, no shit. She's telling on herself. Like, and it puts, yeah, that's a fact. I feel sorry for him, although I admit to laughing about his nonsense. See, the gaslighting. Everyone, see, the thing is, it's funny. Everyone's laughing at them. We can just use their own words against them. Yeah, we pity you. You savages, you're former slaves. We're all laughing at you. You're always going to be at the bottom of society. See, we can say that, but what did they say to us? Oh, you're a racist. You're a white supremacist. You're a bigot. You sound like a white supremacist. See, that's what they say to you, but they want to use that same language against this mixed man and act like it's normal. They feel like they're justified, but we could say the same thing about them. And then they cry and complain racism and colorism and, anti-black. I'm just pointing that out. I'm not going to go into all the comments, like I said, but there's a bunch of comments. They're talking about how the guy's confused and all this other dumb shit. Look, we don't look the same as them. We're not the same people. That's the issue, that with the whole biracial and the light skin shit. As you mentioned, you had a stream earlier. Biracial people, once we feel the disrespect and we see what they're doing, we just get the hell away from them. We're not the same as these people. But the light skinned people, like, see, they have nowhere else to go. That's
Mhm.
part of their community. They have nowhere else to go, so they have to cope and deal with the reality that darker
Right.
skinned Bantus are easy. That's the main thing there. I'm gonna
And
finish
that's
this
why
up
they get
now.
so frustrated. That's why they get so frustrated. But here's another important point when you look at those comments. This is something else I've said to people sometimes. You have to understand, within African American communities and Black American communities, there is outright hatred and loathing and 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 racism against mixed race people. And I'm going to continue to use that word racism. There are just simply people within those communities who do not like you, in fact, hate you. And you got to be very careful. This is why I've told some of these biracials who insist on uh, identifying as African American and Black. I've said, you're playing a game, you do what you want, but when things go wrong and they don't treat you right, or you are badly treated and things happen to you that you wish didn't happen to you, what are you going to do? You're going to come crying to biracial people? I don't think that's going to help you. Again, you have to understand there are people. I mean, it's easy to go and say, and that's one of the tactics they used is what did they call it? What did I call it? I forgot. That's what I called it. But it's always, oh well, white people don't see you as one of their own.
It
Yeah,
doesn't
they
matter.
see
We don't
that
look
as a
black
tactic.
either. We don't look black
Right.
either.
Right. So you see that as a tactic. So that's a tactic. It's like, oh, they don't see you as that. And like, well, why is that important to you? That's what I would go and say. In my case, I could go, well, I could probably be seen that way if I wanted to. Now, with others, maybe not, but in my case, I could probably, possibly. But the reality is that why does that bother you? Or why do you think that has any importance to biracial people? Why do they need to be seen that way? Right. So at the end of the day, what it is a matter of limiting options. Because if you are, and this is a problem for biracial men especially, like I said, use the parking lot metaphor, right? There's a reserved space for the biracial females often, but for the biracial men, you got to go circle that parking lot and you got to find a space that's open and then try to fit, you know, and that's a major problem. But if you look at these comments right up here, that's an indication of a percentage of people in the African American communities and their attitude towards you.
No doubt.
Disrespect, loathing. Go ahead.
No, you were saying, no, I agree with you. Light Skin History is over here. He said 100% true. Moth Neck puts the mulatto man speaking truth here. Great. And I liked his comment. Someone put here 100%. They hate that. I like the comment as well. So you have some people. I was in the comment section talking shit too. I put right here, 217 timestamped. There's no greater fuck up in life than to identify with these ungrateful creatures as a mixed man. 100. My man kept it 100. You live and you learn. No more freebies for AAs. Hold your own nuts. Nobody replied to my comment. Gee, I wonder why. Are they going to reply to this live stream? I wonder why. And I put another comment here. The mixed man is keeping it 100. These blacks need to get their ish together. No one replies. I got 7 likes. They're not replying because when you're a mixed man and you're in the black community and you see all these females jumping in, this Dominic, Victoria, the confusion is real. You're confused. You have these African American females where it's like they don't get it. Look, when you are a mixed man, the dark-skinned Bantu male does not look at you as being a part of their group. And they can lie and pretend all they want, and their light-skinned saviors in the chat. It's not going to cover up the reality that we are not a part of their group. That's it. I'm going to close this out.
Yeah, that's what I was told by biracial people.
Yeah.
Good. I was told that, again, when I was first told that, I was told it by biracial guys on social media groups, biracial social media groups. That's how I found out about it. I didn't find out about it the hard way because I wasn't in that circumstance. I didn't find out about it through other means, from, say, African Americans themselves or whatever. I found out about it from biracial people. So, again, the comments tell you a lot there. And they tell you, that's why
there's a lot of sorry to cut you off, but
no,
there's
go
a
ahead.
lot of black women in those comment sections who are calling that man confused. But it's like, what's their political motive? Why do they care how that man identifies? That man specifically said, yeah, they accept the women, but it's the men that the dark-skinned males, they don't look at us as being a part of their group. Why is it that there's black women, African American women, that have an issue with that reality? That's very interesting. They're all up in the comments calling the man confused and shit. There's nothing confusing. We just dissected the entire dialogue.
Right.
And the mulatto, the mixed man over here, we have a man from South Africa, a colored man across the damn globe who agrees with us. We have people around the planet who see what's going on, who agree with us. So we're not crazy. We're not confused. We can articulate these arguments, in a fashion that is professional and academic. So we're not the ones who are out of pocket here, right? That's the thing. Like, the black community, and the thing is that the saddest part about it is, like I mentioned when I first started the stream, I'm a mulatto man, a biracial identified man. My audience, they're mixed race. This man, you see the comment I highlighted, he's a colored man, multiracial man in South Africa. You, the Al Show, you're a mulatto man, biracial man in Hawaii. My audience is primarily composed of mixed race people. I am a spokesperson, a voice here in this space. Ricardo Ignacio cannot say the same thing. He is a Mexican man with a primarily black audience. Something's not adding up here. Who's the fugazi person? Who's the phony? Who's the fraud? Who's the grifter? Ignacio, look at his channel name, Ricardo Ignacio. He's a Mexican dude. You see here, he's interviewing a mixed race man who's Blaxican, black and Mexican. But yet, all the comments, you look at all these comments, these are black people, African American female, African American female, African American female, all these black people, African American female here, University of Uncommon Sense. She's trying to steal this mulatto shit. She's just a black female. Nothing more, nothing less. Like, it's all these black people. There's no Mexicans commenting on this guy's channel. We're look at this. Pink Lotus. She's like, what make him cook? It's a black female. Purple, black. It's all black female. His whole audience is black. Look at the avatar, black female. He has nothing but a black audience, but he's Mexican. We're not the same. I'm a mulatto man. I curate my message, my audience. This is for mulattoes. We're not the same. Go ahead, Al, if you can add your finishing final thoughts, because I want to kind of close this out. Go ahead.
Right. So here's what I would say to that Ricardo. I don't know his last name, but Ricardo guy.
Ignacio.
Here's what I would say. Ignacio. I don't know if you're a self-hating Mexican guy or self-hating Latino or not terribly interested. What I would say is this. When it comes to mixed race people, biracial people, multiracial people, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, whatever your audience is and whatever you're interested in, if your audience is monoracial, fine by me. That's fine by me. I don't really care. But when it comes to us, mixed race, biracial, multiracial people, you don't know what you're talking about. You're just another confused person who probably believes the one drop rule. We don't identify as anything. Those of us who are rational and properly identify and live openly as biracial, multiracial people, we are doing what we're supposed to do. You're supposed to be what you are. You know, I don't believe ethnicity and race are the biggest factors in life, but they seem to be big in this country. But we're properly identifying and being who we are, which is mixed race people. And if you can't accept that, who cares? We don't care what you think of us, and we don't care what you think we should do. We don't care that other people may see us a certain way. Other people don't know what we are. That's why they ask, who are you? So when it comes to mixed race people, when it comes to biracial people, you should just shut your mouth. Just keep on grifting and keep on kissing butt and keep on doing what you're going to do. But leave biracial people alone. Because he did a live where there was, I think, a black-white biracial woman. And this was one of these people that was, you know, talking about how her mother was, you know, one of these Caucasian mother situations where she said a Caucasian mother was racist and all of that. So this is another aspect. I just want to briefly mention this before I go. Like, there are biracial people who have got family issues and problems and all that. It's unfortunate, but it's a part of life. It can be part of what biracial people have to go through. The problem is when they take their screwed up, messed up family life and try to make it seem like it's the norm for all mixed race people. It isn't. Okay? Yeah, you went through family trauma. Sad, sorry to hear that. But that's your problem. It's not our problem. So we don't come from that screwed up family tree that you came from, or family problem that lady came from. So what you're trying to do, what that woman who was on Ricardo's video, I don't know her name or whatever, What she was a self-hating biracial and an anti-biracial mixed race woman. That's what she is. And she probably doesn't like interracial relationships because of her family. And so people like this Ricardo, they like talking to mixed race people like that because they want to be black identified. But and that never works for biracial people. We just explained to you why it doesn't work for biracial men, because they're not accepted by African American men, by Black American men. They're not accepted. This is why I said biracial people aren't part of Black American communities. They're not part of African American communities. They're not accepted by the men, and they're also kind of not accepted by the women. Unlike, say, biracial women, biracial men aren't really seen as attractive by African American women or Black American women, to my knowledge. Now, that may vary. I'm sure there are people who disagree with me on that, but that's what I've been led to believe, and that's my understanding.
Well, some of them,
And
it just depends, you know. Some of them will be color struck. I've gotten some tail. Some of them will be color struck. They'll look at you, you're light skinned, they'll like you. I'm not gonna lie. I've hooked up with some black chicks, and there's a few of them I know for sure. Like they're color struck. They're you're light skinned, you're a mix, and they like your features. They like you. They're just vibe with you. So it's not all. You know, I don't try to generalize. I think it's not good for us to overgeneralize. We have to be realistic about our position for sure. But I will say that no, there's some who will like you, right? So we have to acknowledge that. But yeah, Al, I'm gonna kind of end this now because we've been going on for a minute. And I appreciate you hopping on as always. I
all
really
right,
appreciate
all right. Thanks for
Thank you.
having me.
Thank you for the live you did earlier as well. Appreciate that.
Oh, okay. Thanks. All right,
Yep.
bye.
All right, guys. Yeah, it's super late where I'm at. So I got to cut things short, guys. But as I promised, I'd be up here to share with you guys. And I appreciate you guys being here. I got a lot of you guys tuned in. You know, I see your guys' commentary, your comments, etc. I appreciate that. And as well, like when the video, you know, when I end the stream, hit the like button. If you haven't already hit the like button, share the stream, etc. Post a comment. I appreciate that. That helps push this video, this stream within the algorithm. Get this out there. And so we let people know that we're watching them. They're watching us, but guess what? We're watching them as well. And the mulatto voices are growing. The mulatto consciousness is growing. That's my whole goal here with this endeavor. I really appreciate you guys being along for the ride. I really do. Do me a solid, hit the like button, share the stream, tell people that we're over here talking, and I will keep in touch with you guys. I'll catch you guys pretty soon. So, with that, adios.